Hello, people and peopleettes. This is the 49th episode of the Funfiltered podcast. I'm Jordan, and I'm joined as always by Sam.
Hello. See what you just did?
What did I just do?
You implied...
What have I done now?
Well, you implied tacitly that women aren't people.
I did... Well,
people
why on earth
peopleettes?
would you think that, Sam?
Because you made them distinct.
Well,
people,
no,
I assume by peopleette you meant women.
Well, yeah, the feminized version of the word.
Yes. So what's people? So only men are people.
No, the joke is that I'm feminizing a word
that doesn't need to be
already
feminized.
Encapsulates everyone.
Yes, but then see, me playing devil's advocate as the social justice warrior here would say, you're implying that women aren't people.
Well, then get out of here, you devil.
Okay. Skedaddling devil. What would a skedaddling devil sound like? For some reason... It's more like a witch, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I like that he wasn't like... He was like scurrying away. He just kind of disappeared.
He scurried and then broke the sound barrier.
Yeah, Sonic boomed out of existence.
Like that, yeah, okay. That was a peculiar start to the episode.
It was. Yeah, why not?
Apologies for the length of this episode.
Oh, I genuinely don't know because I came to this podcast. I know we're doing 3 film reviews today.
3 film reviews,
and I know you have things to say.
I do.
That's all I know. I have nothing.
Okay,
to bring myself.
To the table.
Because you kind of like in advance, you were like, Jord, do you have anything?
Yeah.
I was like, no. You were going, good.
Yes, save it. We don't need it for this.
So
one.
God knows, I'm with you, audience. I don't know what we're in for today.
Okay. Well, the first thing.
I know it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Well, no, that could have been the first thing. You don't know.
Well, the very fact you were like, oh yeah, I forgot. Maybe I
was bluffing for some not reason whatsoever.
That was a hell of a bluff, even for you.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me. Coming up,
we talk about Mark Kermode's review of The Father.
We revisit the Golden or Gelded Globes.
We review Another Round.
We talk about my cultivation of empathy and SJWs and stuff.
A series of American lies and travesties.
#Sexnotgender and the court case of Maya Forstater.
We talk about diversity's win at the BAFTAs. The dance group, not the,
concept.
Yeah.
We review Surge.
Aliens might be real, or are they? We discuss.
Can you say aliens might be real, or are they?
Yeah?
You can say aliens are real, or are they? You can't say aliens might be real, or are they?
Yeah, they might not be real.
Might has already placed down.
Yeah, but they might not be real.
But might also means might not, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Take that again.
No.
Okay.
What am I going to say?
Are we alone in the universe? I don't know, something like that.
Are we alone in the universe?
Yeah.
Or are we?
No, what are you doing?
Doesn't make sense, Sam.
You only need to ask the one question.
Aliens are real? We discuss.
We review Nobody, the film, not like the not person.
What? So what's the first thing, Sam?
The first thing...
The second thing.
The coming up, you mean?
Yeah, the second thing.
Okay.
What's the second thing?
The second thing, I've got a couple... There's 2 things. I've got a couple of cultural updates.
Okay.
We reviewed The Father on the last episode, and I brought up Mark Kermode's review of the film. Not review of the film.
Like
he hadn't reviewed it yet.
Yeah, like
his impending review.
Yeah.
But he kind of gave a tease that he just wasn't generally a fan of it.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, why would that be? Because it's had such overwhelming critical acclaim. So he's now released his review, and generally he thought the performance was too showy.
Okay.
And the film was too stagey.
Right.
I can't totally refute that. It wasn't a problem for me. Was it a problem for you?
The show performance?
Not the show performance. Like, I didn't think it was a show performance. I suppose more the staginess. It's not not in the sense that it just looks like a filmed play, because it is cinematic. But, it's the typical thing, isn't it? One location. Oh, it's theatrical then.
Well, that was one of the things that we complimented about it, wasn't it? And I'm assuming the reason you're bringing up Kermode's review, I mean, not only is it you listened to him, but I think you were expecting, and we'll see if those expectations were realised, that his criticisms were sort of in line with other people's, like the main criticisms of the film,
right,
from the people who typically don't like it. Criticisms that we ourselves just don't think apply.
No, well, my prediction was that he would have had a family member that had suffered with Alzheimer's.
Which turned out to be true.
Which turned out to be true. His mother and his grandmother. I don't know, the way he was talking about it before I knew his true opinion seemed to be he'd taken something personally. It's like, okay, he's had a family
Which is
member with
interesting,
dementia.
because by his own admission, he liked Relic. I think he says in that review that, like, Relic is the best, it's like the most powerful portrayal
of dementia.
The most emotionally powerful portrayal of dementia he's seen put to film.
Well, this is the thing. So he did bring up Relic in his review.
Yeah.
Compared it unfavourably to The Father.
Yeah.
Saying he thought Relic was the far superior film. Bearing in mind that Mark Kermode has a big horror bias.
Yes.
He kind of wrote his dissertation on horror fiction. The Exorcist is his favourite film.
Pretty much any given year.
If there's a well-made horror film,
it'll be near the top.
It'll be his
not
favourite
at the
film of
top,
the year. Yeah. The Babadook and like there's a lot of Persian horror films.
Oh right.
Under the Shadow, stuff like that.
Oh okay.
And A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. But anyway, so he had family members who'd had Alzheimer's, and the salient thing that I got from his review was that he'd taken offence. He didn't say that explicitly.
No.
But his whole thing was, like the characters keep saying how smart and intellectual
he was saying that, like, not only was he saying that, but he was saying that this is becoming a cliche in cinema.
Right.
That films that depict characters with Alzheimer's are saying, oh, he was once brilliant, or she was once...
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen.
And he seemed to take umbrage with the implication that's not there, that, like, working class people are less deserving of sympathy.
Yeah.
Which is not true at all, is it?
No.
It's not like they go, and it's worse because of that.
No, it's not saying that. It's using that as like a hyperbolic, everyone will get this example. Like if you say, like, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I think for me it's like, if you say, oh, this was once a brilliant person and look at him now, you get a real sense of the destructive power of dementia.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's this person who's like, yeah, they weren't that brilliant before, and now look what dementia has happened to them, you don't get as strong a sense of what dementia is doing to a person.
Yes,
it's not to say that, like, oh, dementia is tragic only when it affects the brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's not sadder. It's just the chasm is wider. That's all. There's further to fall. But that doesn't mean that those who have less to fall are less deserving.
No. But it's just by falling further, right? Like, you can see, you get a better chance to see, oh God, this is what it does to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is, Kermode is an old-fashioned liberal. Like, he was a Trotskyist kind of, I think he was a Trotskyist.
What?
A Trotskyist.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like a branch of communism.
Oh, okay.
The student radical.
I just assume nowadays, like, if a word comes up, it's like, well, it probably didn't exist 5 minutes ago, so I have to check these things.
No. He's an 80s student radical.
Okay.
Like, he sings the Internationale on the show sometimes. And
right.
Stuff. Like, this is quite typical leftist thinking almost.
Okay.
Like thinking of it as a zero-sum game. But by depicting someone of a certain status, it's necessarily uninclusive of everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, this is one story.
Yeah.
You can tell the other story if you want. We're not saying, there's a finite amount of dementia stories and you've now absorbed one up for your... No, it doesn't work like that.
No. And there are certainly films out there which are, they say, oh, we are telling this specific story.
Yeah.
But typically when a story is told, there's something to be taken from it that applies to everyone.
That can be universalized.
Yeah, like Anthony Hopkins just happens to be the vessel through which this story is being told. It doesn't mean that only people exactly like him can appreciate this story.
In fact, there's that kind of paradox that the more specific the story, the more universal its resonance.
Yeah, that's like a common misunderstanding about. You see it all the time in major release films.
Yeah,
and films that are meant to appeal to the widest possible audience. They just make their characters as broad as possible.
Yes.
So that, anyone could
lowest common denominator.
Yeah, anyone could be Brad Pitt in this situation. Right. Anyone could be Gerard Butler. But it's a specificity that actually, it's like, that's a real person.
I don't know what the fuck it's like to be a middle-aged mobster from Italian-American New Jersey.
No.
But I feel like I do.
Because
of The Sopranos.
Because of The Sopranos, yeah.
So it's just silly. So I thought we should nip that one in the bud. Tie that end.
Well, of the
Kermode review.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder why. Like, obviously, he's got a preference towards horror films. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, why did Relic land okay for him, but The Father didn't?
Well, he said that it kind of pushed it further.
Relic pushed it.
Yeah, it had the kind of courage to go further.
Because you see, I thought that would be one of the reasons he wouldn't like it. Because
I don't think his worry was that it was exploitative. I don't think it was like
not
the
that
film is
not that it's exploitative, but I mean, in Relic, the dementia is not a physical force, but it is a force present in that story.
Yeah,
it's not just it's not like in The Father where like that, that is the condition that character has, but it's only manifesting through that character.
Yeah. The
dementia in Relic does manifest in a monstrous way.
I suppose
through like the rot, and occasionally it's clear that the grandmother is no longer her. There is an entity within her that's possessing her. Yeah.
I suppose because some people have said that the father has horror aspects to it. Which not really horrifying aspects, not quite horror.
Yeah,
but because obviously it's told through Anthony Hopkins' perspective, and so the environment changes, and it's kind of
the environment changes and it messes with time. I wouldn't necessarily call them horror, like horrific elements.
Well, I'd certainly say horrific. I don't know about horror.
Horrific in the sense that this is horrible.
That's what I mean.
But not like
horror can just be grim, can't it?
Not from like a genre.
No, not a genre. Though I'm sure if we rewatched it with that in mind, we'd probably find stuff like when he sees his daughter on the hospital table and stuff like that.
Oh right.
And yes, obviously it's about a horrific thing, so it's going to have a horror dimension to it. But I think because Relic is a horror film. He felt that it pushed it further. But The Father wasn't trying to be a horror film. It was trying to be a drama with that aspect to it.
Yeah.
And he's a horror fan, So
then that's fine. But is it that? Is it the fact that there's more separation with Relic than there is with The Father? Because it slightly... this is not to Relic's detriment, but it does otherize dementia. In the sense that it makes it a monster unto itself.
Well, Relic is told from the perspective of the granddaughter and the daughter.
There is that as well.
Whereas the father is told from the perspective of the person with the
dementia.
condition.
Yeah. So there's less separation.
Yeah.
So it's more real.
Well, it's experiential, isn't it? It's trying to trying to capture the experience of dementia.
So is that part of it? That it's just it does hit harder because it's more raw. It's not like
The Father or Relic.
Yeah, the Father.
Well, The Father hits harder because it's just more real.
No, that's my point. That's what I'm making.
Oh, right, okay.
It's more real than Relic.
Yeah, when you abstract it out to a horror, it's not to say that it loses anything necessarily.
No.
But The Father is a situation I can quite easily imagine.
Yeah, it's naturally harder to imagine yourself in a situation depicted in Relic than it is in a situation depicted by the Father. Which is why I think the Father would be a lot more uncomfortable to people to kind of digest and accept as like, this is a thing that's I'm experiencing at the moment. Yeah,
look, I haven't yet known anyone who suffers with Alzheimer's or dementia, and maybe I obviously know it's horrific, and maybe it's worthy of a Relic treatment. But I found Relic alienatingly grim, whereas The Father is bleak. But I would watch that sooner than I would.
Oh, yeah.
I never want to watch Relic again.
No.
I got it. It has images that are going to stick with me.
Yeah.
The Father, I would watch again. Maybe give it a minute. But I would watch it again. Relic is just horrible, isn't it? It's a horrible film. Whereas The Father is sad. I think that's different. It's not a horrible film, though, in that way.
No. Which again was something that I brought up because I was expecting like utter misery from start to finish.
Yeah, no, it's just upsetting.
Yeah.
Is that it for that?
Okay, so we don't approve. What are we saying? That we don't approve of his opinion?
Well, I don't agree with his opinion certainly, and I think he's allowed personal feelings to invade on his critical faculties.
Oh, of course, especially if he's personally been involved in the subject that the film is dealing with.
And you can't not do that. Like, we bring ourselves to our reviews of films. Like sometimes, I just got a personal problem with that. Yeah. And so this film went down in my estimation.
Yeah.
You don't want to lie. Like, you have to be, to a degree, objective. And I feel like we do try and do that, recognising the qualities of Nomadland whilst kind of hating it.
Yes.
But yeah, you at the end of the day, you can't separate yourself from... It's the same as any person who teaches an art. Like, yes, there's a degree of objectivity in how you mark your students' work, but doesn't taste isn't taste involved in that somewhere as well.
Yeah, okay.
But I just think he kind of, I don't know, it put his nose out of joint when it shouldn't have. And this whole thing of representation, because it didn't represent like a working class family or a
I don't agree with.
Silly.
Yeah.
It's hardly haughty, is it? Like, oh yes, no. It's a lot more tragic.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is not like he's not royalty. He's not like this.
I'm not saying he's not. They're not even that upper class.
Yeah,
they're middle class.
Yeah, you know? they're sort of like they live in London.
They live in London,
and they do all right for living in London.
Yeah, they can afford to live in London. That's their economic status.
Exactly.
Like they're not, and he has a nice flat,
and she can afford to move to Paris.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think silly, and I think there's a kind of political element as well. This is coming from someone, Kermode now, who once said that everything's political. He said everything is political.
Right.
Which, as you know, I really don't agree with. Especially not art. When art is, well, on its face political, it's not even art, in my opinion.
Okay.
And like politics usually is applied to like the ethos of the film or the philosophy of the film. It doesn't mean politics like, oh, this is a conservative film. It kind of what's its worldview? What's the film's kind of moral center sort of thing?
Okay.
In a way, if you're going by that, then yes, I suppose all films are in some way political. But I hate this idea that everything is, because it's not true.
No, it feels like it is.
Well, they're trying to make everything political, but we will get onto that later.
Okay.
Okay, so the second cultural tidbit.
Okay.
The Gilded Globes.
Oh, not everything's political, is it?
What's this got to do with politics?
Well, because the Golden Globes aren't happening this year.
Yes,
because
the bit of news I've got, well, I suppose it is political.
Because, well, firstly, we'll finish explaining it because anybody doesn't know. The Golden Globes are not happening this year.
Next year.
For
this year, yeah.
For the award that would be awarding 2021 films is not happening because a lot of people were abandoning the Globes and shaming them because they didn't have enough black voters on their... They didn't have any black voters on their panel or academy or whatever it is that whoever it is, this entity that votes for the Globes.
The Hollywood Foreign Press. I think there's 60 of them and none of them were black.
None of them were black, and therefore that was considered sufficient grounds to boycott and cancel and be gone with you.
And they're now they're doing the what's all the R words, reckon with the
rebuild,
rebrand, regroup, all that shit.
What's the black one? Our ancestors were give us the money you took from our ancestors. Reparations.
Oh, reparations, yeah.
Reparate. No, what?
No, they say that as well. That my ancestors were raped.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's not an exclusively black concept.
No, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
So yes, the Globes. Just something I noticed. If you go on IMDb and a film has won awards, there's like a little panel. And in bold, if it's won an Oscar, it'll say won 2 Oscars or nominated for 1 Oscar.
Yeah.
And you click on see more, and they have a kind of hierarchy of awards. So the Oscars will always be top. Then it'll be the Golden Globes, Screen Actors Guild. If it's TV, the Emmys will be after the Globes. And then after a certain 4 or 5 of the high profile awards, it'll be alphabetized.
Okay.
ACE awards, cable, all that shit.
Yeah.
Golden Globes has now been removed from the hierarchy. So it's just in the basically miscellaneous list of awards.
What, completely?
No, it's still there, but it's not up there now. So it's buried in the Gold Derby Awards and the...
right,
So you've got Oscars, SAG, BAFTA, and then all the way down here, Golden Globes. And that can't be accidental.
What was the test group for this? Because I imagine this is something you noticed independently.
I can't remember. I was looking something up, and I know it won Globes, but it said nominated for 2 Emmys or something, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then I clicked on it and saw that it had been relegated.
Okay,
and then that is consistent through everything.
Okay,
I think when they apply that formula, it will be that way for all of the films.
Yeah.
So what do you think that's about?
Well, let's be charitable a moment.
Yeah. Happy to be charitable.
The fact that the Golden Globes are not happening this year means that when award season comes and goes, no film would have won a Golden Globe.
No.
So why are we putting it at the top?
But it's not... It's at the top because of its perceived prestige, isn't it?
Yes. So the fact that all of the best films of the year, the films that will be nominated for the Oscars and all that, none of them will receive Golden Globes.
No.
So that might be... If you're out of the loop...
Right.
You might look at that and go, hang on, what's all this about?
Okay. So you're saying the, I don't know, 30 or so films that would otherwise be nominated for Golden Globes not being nominated, those 30 films, whatever they might be, just because Globes won't be involved, they've applied that to every... No, that doesn't quite...
No, well, I mean, this is me trying to be charitable.
No, I know
what you think, or the idea that you're going to bring to the table is that it's because it's as part of... It's part of all of these boycotts.
I think it's not necessarily a boycott, more like deliberately and artificially trying to reduce its caliber.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't deny that people have won Golden Globes, but it's no longer going to be in the higher echelon of awards. We're going to relegate it to the miscellaneous section.
Fair enough. But surely if the point is that... Because they have said... okay, we'll skip this year and we'll go and find some black people who give enough of a shit about cinema that they're going to go on an award voting panel. So surely the fact that they're doing that means that you would want to keep it relevant. Because if you're...
Maybe it's a punishment.
If you're undermining... No, that's fine. But now, like, the Golden Globe is going to come back and be like, hey, we got exactly what you wanted. We've now got, 30% or half and half or whatever it is they're going to come back with.
So maybe it is like...
And then they're going to show up and they're going to be like, oh, no, it's fine. We relegated you to the dustbin of history.
Maybe it's a subtle negotiating tactic. Just like a quiet way for Hollywood to go, look, we're putting you down.
Yeah.
We're putting you down. This is not a big major deal. I haven't read a news story about this or anything. It's just something I've noticed, but it can't be accidental. And it's probably like a subtle negotiating thing. It's like, right, if you've learned your lesson, show us your work, and if we deem it worthy of a tick, we'll restore you to the masthead, basically.
Right.
But if they don't, fuck it, you're just in the assortment.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. But I just don't know why all of a sudden it's been removed from... It's either like there's been weird popular demand for it, like, oh, how dare you like flag up the Golden Globes first? You put them down the list.
Yeah.
It's probably something like that. I mean, it's a company, so it's going to bow to public pressure.
Yes.
Then again, we talked before about, I don't know if that's as big a mechanism as it used to be. People will be political now over profitable. But yeah, I thought that was worth flagging. And I'll let you know if the situation changes.
Right, okay.
But yes, okay. Should we do a film review?
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, yeah, I know what's happening now, I think. Depends which one.
Until the next one. Well, you've seen them all, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, no. You have seen them all. You better have seen them all.
Which one are we discussing?
Well, would it matter?
It might. I don't know.
Another round.
Yes, I have. I've literally...
Yes.
The credits rolled as I was closing the laptop to put it in my car to come here.
Oh, an hour late.
No, come on now, Sam.
Okay. Well, at least you needed
What happened to this being charitable that we were exercising just a moment ago?
I thought we were extending charity to everybody else but ourselves.
Well, some charity this way every so often wouldn't go amiss, you know?
Okay. There's some charity.
Okay.
I'm gesticulating towards you. There's some charity.
So it wasn't an hour late, was it, Sam?
It was 15 minutes late.
Thank you. Thank you for that charity.
Okay. Another round then.
Another round.
Do you want to do the plot synopsis?
Oh, okay. Is this a test?
Yes.
The test to make sure I watched the fucking film.
It is, yeah.
Okay. Well, joke's on you, because I did watch the film.
Well, you could have just Googled the premise as well, to be fair. But go ahead.
Me charity, Sam.
Well, I feel like your forthcoming review will be a good test of whether you've actually seen the film or not.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Or why?
Well, let me explain the plot, and then I'll explain why.
You have few notes. Go on.
What is wrong with you today?
I'm just guessing. Come on, I like it.
You don't even need me to be here. I can just go over there if you want.
It must have been a while since I've done a quiz.
Okay.
That's probably what it is.
You just have to be right.
I have to just answer.
I haven't had a vessel for being right in so long. I'm now like vibrating
with potential right energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Plot.
Okay. The plot is there are these 4 teachers.
Yes.
I only know Mads Mikkelsen.
Same.
Okay, so there are these 4 teachers, one of whom is played by Mads Mikkelsen, and they are all middle-aged. I think one of them celebrates their 40th birthday, like early on in the film. Yeah. And at that birthday, they kind of realise that they've sort of lost something.
Yeah, especially the Mads Mikkelsen character.
Yeah, he's like
stagnated.
Yeah, I'm not the person that I once was.
Yeah.
I know it. My wife knows it. My students know it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. I'm not who I used to be.
He's lost the spark.
Yes, he's lost the spark. And at that birthday meal, one of them brings up this study by a Scandinavian individual.
A philosopher, I think.
A Scandinavian philosopher whose name I couldn't possibly...
Oh, I can't remember.
I couldn't possibly begin to pronounce because I didn't have the foresight to write it down. Stupidly.
Okay.
Basically, this I assume it's a real philosophy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that he hypothesizes that human beings were born with 0.05% less blood alcohol content
Than would be ideal.
Ideal. If humans were able to raise their blood alcohol content by 0.05, we would be happier, we would be more productive, we would be more relaxed, we would be better people.
Yes.
Naturally,
Yeah.
these aging 40-year-old men who have lost the spark are like, yeah, all right,
Yeah, let's give that a go. Yeah.
So it's that. It's these four guys. They start conducting this experiment. They write a paper and everything, just so they're not, it's like, we're not alcoholics, we're writing a paper.
I think the quote is, we'll write a brilliant psychological essay on it so it isn't altogether foolishness.
Yes. And they go about their day-to-day lives with their family and their jobs and whatnot while drinking to make sure that they maintain a certain level of alcohol in their blood.
Yes.
Did I pass the test?
You did pass the test.
Thank you.
The first note I've got is I really like the translated title. Because I think the original title is Druk, which I imagine is drunk.
Drunk, yes.
Another Round is a pretty great title.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I actually don't know. I was going to make the point that, usually translated titles lose something, whereas this one seems to have gained something. But I have no basis for making that claim.
No, like Pan's Labyrinth, it's just kind of, it's not even Pan in the original Spanish, it's the Faun's Labyrinth, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, usually it's just very literal or very, But they've actually added, it has nuance.
Yes.
It has a double meaning to it.
Yeah. Is Thomas, because obviously Mads Mikkelsen is bilingual, I assume some of the actors in the film are also...
I think in Scandinavia, bilinguality, or whatever that word is common. I think a lot speak English.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thing was only going to be, I wonder if Thomas Vinterberg had... Thomas Vinterberg obviously being the director.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had any influence over what they were going to name it overseas.
I would have thought so. I suppose like Bong Joon-ho was very instrumental in Parasite's translation. Like they changed and it was like a Beijing University to Oxford.
Yes.
Like even not just literally translating, but kind of
to make sure that we're not just translating words, we're translating the
intention as
well. The
intention,
yeah.
I could be blanking, but you don't see many films about middle-aged male friends.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. Like I could be wrong, but if that felt new to me. It's always young guys, especially with alcohol's concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shaun of the Dead, it's about your bromances. But just about friendship, you don't get just men who've grown up and they're married and they rarely see each other.
No. You've got, like, The World's End?
Yeah, yes.
But that's sort of...
Well, because of its genre trappings, it doesn't have that natural...
Yeah, it's a comedy, isn't it? So I think the fact that they're middle-aged...
Yeah.
Is like part of the comedy.
Yeah, and obviously it's all about the loss of youth and all that sort of thing.
Yes, which this also is.
It is, yeah. But because
they are all school teachers at the same school. They are constantly surrounded by youth.
Yes.
So it's like a constant reminder of where they came from and what they've lost.
Yeah, I really feel for Martin.
Which is that Mads
That's Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, okay.
When he's there at that dinner and he's just getting like a bit tipsy and just like sinking into himself.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh God. And then he starts sobbing.
Yeah.
I just thought, I hope that's not a Ghost of Christmas Future situation. It's just like, is that line, they ask him how he is because he's clearly upset. Like, you're all right? He's just like, I don't do much. I don't see many people. It's like, oh, no, Martin. And when they get smashed after that first meal, it was really heartwarming. It's really nice to see him just like dancing and enjoying himself.
It is. Like, and naturally, I think a lot of people would probably guess if the film is about them maintaining a certain level of alcohol in their blood, that level is going to escalate as the film goes on.
Yeah.
And it does.
It does.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah.
And so they have like one hell of blowouts kind of towards the end of the second act. And yeah, when they're sort of wandering the streets and like one of them's like naked for some reason. Yeah. And the other one's like stolen some like alcohol from the pub and they're like, they can barely stand up. And yeah, that all of that, like when they're all together and they're all like properly drunk.
Yeah.
Even when they like, you know, they're just like tipsy.
Yeah, they're in their houses.
Yeah, because like we only know Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
It's possible that those other actors are known overseas as well.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that they're like, oh, they're only Scandinavian.
Or they played supporting roles in other Scandinavian.
Yeah, we may even have
films
seen a couple of them before and just like for some reason we're blanking on it. But because you know Mads Mikkelsen, I think he's the only one on the poster.
Yeah, swigging the champagne.
Champagne, yeah. Your temptation is just to think, oh, he's like the leader of the group. And then they're all just kind of there as well. Like, we're here for him.
Yeah.
But no, it feels like a group.
It is an ensemble piece.
It is an ensemble piece.
He is the lead, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. He is the lead because he does close out the film as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't think, oh, it's Mads Mikkelsen and these three other guys. It's a group of friends, and that's really nice.
Yeah, they kind of get equal prominence, don't they?
Yeah.
I love that thing, though, about when they decide to do it. It's like, we will write an essay.
Yeah.
Just so it's like, there's some justification. It reminded me of you whenever we order food.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a surplus, an excess. We justify it. It's like, oh, I can have that for dinner tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, we have
I'm
to
actually
come
forward thinking.
Forward thinking, yeah, exactly.
No, that's a very friendshipy thing to do. You're sort of like, it's banterous, but you're kind of enabling each other. Yeah. But like there's banter about it.
Yeah.
It's like, like when they're writing the essay and it's this like, it's all this academic.
Yeah.
They're being very academic in the way that they write, and he's like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's like, that sounds almost legitimate, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're very real. There's like another little moment as well. It's not the best example of it, but there's a moment where, I think very early on in the film, they're talking about like their careers, and one of them has a go at pottery teachers. Right. It's like, at least I'm not a fucking pottery teacher, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the film, one of them's dating a pottery teacher.
Right.
Just like a little thing like that. It's like, that really makes the characters feel like people. Yeah. Almost.
Oh, it's very real, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very real.
It's very real, but not Nomadland real, where it's like too real.
Yes. Yeah, no, exactly. It's but I actually, the naturalism of the film belies its nuance, right? Because it's described as a tragicomedy. And it's quite, if you describe the film by its beats, it sounds like it could be a Seth Rogen comedy. It's like, right, we need to drink. Yeah. Right, we should drink a bit more. Then literally character says, I think we should drink ourselves into oblivion. Yeah. It's so funny, just this constant ratcheting up of the scale. Yeah, I like that. And it's a film about men testing the limits of alcohol. And obviously, because it has early success, they double down on it. Yeah. And there's obviously the niggling certainty that the whole thing is going to implode. But I didn't think it suffered any less because of that.
Because of the certainty that it was going to
Because of the inevitability. Like, you know it's going to come bite them.
The film can't not go in that direction, yeah.
But I felt it didn't detract that kind of predictability for me.
No.
Did it for you?
No, I don't know what effect it did have. Because, that was definitely something that stuck with me throughout the film. It's like, right, it's going to end badly. Yeah. It's just going to end badly for them. We all know it's going to end badly, so, you know. Well,
the surprise for me was, spoiler alert.
Yes.
It does have a tragic denouement. Yeah. But it doesn't end as bleakly as you might think. That, for a naturalistic Scandinavian film about alcohol, it has a lovely ending. Yes. And this is what I didn't expect.
Yeah. That was really nice. That yes, as you say, there is tragedy. Yeah. All of the characters experience a tragedy, one more than the others.
Yes. Quite a final tragedy.
Tragedy, if you will. And obviously you think, right, that's where the film's ending. It's like, oh, alcohol is bad. This entire thing was a failure. We shall never touch alcohol again. Right. And the final sequence of the film is everybody drinking.
Right, merrily.
Merrily and celebrating.
And I don't think that's meant to be kind of bitterly ironic.
Because one of the recurring ideas, I suppose, throughout the film is that Mads Mikkelsen used to be a jazz ballet dancer. Yeah. Yeah. And everyone is trying to encourage him to do jazz ballet, and he's just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. My back is out. My back is out. Oh, I don't want to do it, you know. And then at the very end of the film, that's the final sequence of the film, is them drinking merrily while he is performing this quite full on. Yeah. Yeah, he's like throwing his fists around.
Jumping through buses.
Because there's a moment where it's like, he starts like doing a little, a quaint little like synchronized number with one of his friends.
A little swaying back and forth.
Yeah, and then he goes and sits on a bench. And there was part of me that was thinking like, oh, is that... Like, I know what that did. I know the idea is that it's supposed to show that, he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Even though he's drunk at the moment, I think the fact that he is dancing in front of people is supposed to signify that this experience has helped him.
Yeah, well, it implies that he's going to reconcile with his wife as well, isn't it?
It's going to, that he's going to reconcile with his wife, that his life is not ruined, and that he, again, while drunk, I thought that it was saying that, like, he doesn't need... This has helped him. He doesn't need to be drunk to be okay anymore. He can just be okay.
And it's not a message of the week. It's not like, oh, therefore, because one character dies, right?
Yeah.
As a result of what they've been doing. The film's not saying, therefore, alcohol bad. It's like, no, you can still drink. Yeah. Just don't fucking go berserk with it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I like that.
Yeah, but no, so I said, but like, he did that little synchronized number, and then he went and sat on the bench. I was like, oh, considering that that's like the emotional, like, wrapping up of the film. That was a bit, oh God, like when he starts like jumping up and throwing his fists around and like, oh, okay, all right,
It's what we never got from Sucker Punch.
Yes.
We finally got to see the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, while it's always shown the downsides of the project, like quite early on, he walks into a door, like, you know, his nose starts bleeding and everything. It never does it hokily or didactically. As it's never talking or preaching down to the audience. It's objective. And it doesn't detract from the joy of seeing Martin especially flourish.
Yeah.
So when he starts like really engaging with the students, you really feel good about that. And even while it's showing that it's kind of alienating him from his wife a little bit. And
I wonder if that's because the film knows that this is going to, which way this is going.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
So it's like, well, we don't need to focus on the negatives because that's all to come.
Well, but it always depicts them objectively. Like the strings don't swell when the nasty stuff happens. It's a Scandinavian film. There's no melodrama. There's no grandstanding. Yeah, it was just a nice little surprise. I only really have one critique.
Okay.
My critique is really minor.
Okay.
I like that alcohol really runs through the film, right? Not just what they're doing, but the kids do it. They have like this ritual.
That's part of like how Martin ends up bonding with his students. He's talking about, because he's teaching history.
Yes.
And he's talking about like these titanic figures of history through the prism of alcohol. Yeah. And their friends as well. They're like, oh, Ernest Hemingway will mimic the way that Ernest Hemingway used to drink, because he stopped drinking after 8 o'clock.
Right.
But he drank all through the day. And look at what he achieved.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like him telling his students that Churchill was, a drunkard and brilliant and stuff like that. I like all that, but I didn't think that the film's gestures towards larger commentary. So like, there's that little entertaining montage showing all the world leaders pissed.
Oh yeah, that was a bit
of a non sequitur.
Yeah, that felt like out of nowhere.
And his wife saying, "Oh, the whole country drinks anyway," feels like it's gesturing towards larger commentary. And that's fine. For me, they didn't really land because I didn't know what it was trying to say, other than people everywhere drink.
People everywhere
It's ubiquitous.
Drink. Yeah.
Maybe that's all it needed to be. Maybe it didn't need any deeper depth, but I don't think it supplemented the experience.
I don't know. Maybe it was the film's way of certainly contextualizing what they're doing. It's like, oh, look at all of these people. They all drink.
I suppose it's like it's almost like they're depicting a subculture that we didn't know about. And like showing, oh, actually, this thing you didn't know about, look, it pops up here and it pops up here and it pops up. I feel like I've watched loads of documentaries like that, where it'll be this really niche thing. But then they'll show, and here's the president using it or whatever. And you go, oh shit, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're doing that for alcohol, which we all already know is everywhere. It's almost like it's a film for aliens. This is what alcohol is. Everyone all over the world, all for the Middle East or something. It's like this is
people who don't encounter with that. I don't know. I
think it was just a bit of like disposable fun. Like, here's a little montage showing world leaders. I don't think it did anything. But that's my only tiny critique. I really liked it.
Okay.
You?
Well, I had nothing.
Oh, no notes.
I had no notes whatsoever.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you had notes.
Is that a bad sign?
I don't know. I think it's interesting that most, if not all, of the best, like the films that were nominated for Best Film of 2020 that I've seen so far, I've had no opinion on them.
You have no opinion of this film?
No. What I mean by that is, like, I've had nothing to say about them.
Okay.
Minari, Nomadland, and now this. I've come out of all of them with no notes going, yeah, that happened, yeah. But I will say, out of the three, this is the one that I like the most.
Same.
And it's the film that I feel the most confident giving an opinion on.
Okay.
In the sense that I can say it's a good film and I liked it.
Yeah, okay.
I seem to like it less than you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the film grabbed me emotionally the same way it grabbed you.
Okay.
Those at the end when his wife is texting him while everyone is singing and drinking merrily outside, and it's just those white words on black screen, and she's saying like, "I miss you too," and he says like, "I thought that was a bit," because Tommy's the one who dies, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit when he was like, I think Tommy is rooting for me and you. It's like, Jesus, man. Pulling out the big guns.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Like my friend who's just died wants us to get back together.
Yeah. I
guess
guess
she's already wants this as well, mate.
I guess maybe you only plant that flag if you suspect it's going in the right direction. Because otherwise, that's like a what the fuck?
Yeah, well, fuck you. I was just being nice, you know? But yeah, when she was texting him, I was like, okay, yes, the film is...
doing its job.
I'm not completely... cold from it. I'm not completely disconnected from it. And yes, seeing him be sad is tragic.
Yes. Well, you know, that and Nomadland, they both have a certain detachment. Not to this film's detriment, in my opinion. But I will agree with you that Nomadland, Minari, and this, I feel like I have less to say than I usually would about awards films. I do agree with that. Yeah. I've got a bit more to say about this than I did about the other two. But... yeah, I see where you're coming from. But overall, you liked it?
I did like it.
Okay, good. So we recommend it then?
Yes, we recommend it. Yeah.
It's quite an easy film as well, given that it's foreign cinema. That scary thing. It's very, very accessible.
Well, it's not just accessible, but I don't feel like there's any... there's a language barrier, obviously, but if you're watching with subtitles, then whatever. But there's no cultural barrier.
There's that one bit in it, I think when I first saw it, I said to you, when he's leaving the house and he says to the kids, there's pizza in the fridge. Like, oh, they're the same.
Yeah.
It's just the same as we are.
Yeah, it's literally the same. Yeah, exactly the same. Like, is there anything, like maybe the lake race?
Yeah, I don't, but even then, we mention of the film.
Even. Yeah, like there's a similar thing like here.
Yeah,
it's like when I used to work in that petrol station every year at a certain time, a certain time of the year.
Yeah,
I would start seeing all of these people walking past the petrol station, like dressed up in costumes, and holding like crates of beer. And the idea is that you go from one pub in this one town to another pub in this other town with the massive like barrel of beer, or crate of beer,
a keg,
and you have to finish it before you get there.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same principle as the lake race. There really wasn't anything.
No, there's nothing alienating from the.
No.
It could be Britain.
Yeah.
In fact, they're doing an American remake, aren't they, with DiCaprio?
Why? I
don't know. This really doesn't need to be translated.
Like Parasite. Okay.
No.
What I mean, okay, is that like I imagine people look at that. They're wrong, but people could look at that and go, well, that's quite different, isn't it?
Parasite.
Yeah.
Well, the only charity running thread that I'll extend to that is, I suppose, there could be a whole different social context in an American version.
Yes.
A different...
Yeah, even though the theme of like poverty and all that is universal.
But different tropes.
The specific context within which this story is taking place.
Right, like it'd be different in New York than it would in Texas, than it would in Florida. Yeah.
Like I can see how it's obviously a cynical maneuver because like you already have the perfect incarnation of Parasite. It's right there.
Yes, Parasite.
It's there. It was there the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't need to make another version of it, but like whatever.
Yeah.
You want to... Frankly, if people can't put in the effort of watching Parasite, they don't deserve a version of Parasite.
Yeah.
But like with Another Round, it's pure cynicism. I genuinely don't know what a remake could be. Like, what's the barrier for people here?
Purely the language
barrier. What barrier are we smashing down by remaking it for an English-speaking audience?
Two things.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about breaking down barriers, but like a way that we can get more people to watch it.
Yeah.
One, it's going to be in English.
Okay.
Two, it'll have DiCaprio and not the guy that was the villain in that James Bond film.
Or Hannibal Lecter.
Or Hannibal, yes. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
In fact, at the end of the film when he's doing his dance number, he's full of the sheaf, isn't he? From Casino Royale.
Oh, yes.
The black.
Yeah.
Totally
He
black.
properly is, yeah. I feel like Mads Mikkelsen is a big enough name. Not big as DiCaprio, admittedly.
To us, maybe.
Yeah.
But not, I don't think, not to the same people who would go because it's Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
But what was the... he was in a Netflix film, wasn't he, Mads Mikkelsen? It was like a John Wick ripoff.
He's in loads of films.
No, it was like a John Wick ripoff.
I have no idea.
It's like the poster is him... It's the typical action thing where it's like he's facing away, but he's looking back at the camera.
Okay.
And there's like rain, but there's like neon lighting.
Oh, yeah. I can picture the poster, but I don't know what the film's called.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly look it up.
Okay.
Because it was a Netflix film.
Yeah.
A Netflix action film. So methinks people would know him through that as well.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if he doesn't have name recognition, though, does he?
No, but
it's that guy, but you don't know the name Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know the name Mads Mikkelsen, but you show it. He's a very recognizable man.
He is, yeah.
You show a picture of him, it's like, oh, that guy, yeah.
He's in a Star Wars film, I think, as like maybe Solo or something.
I think Rogue One. Yeah, he's the father.
Yes, he's
the main character.
That's right, yeah. He's a very, very prolific actor, a very good one.
He is. The film is Polar.
Polar, right, yeah, okay.
He's also in Fantastic... Well, no, that's an upcoming Fantastic Beasts.
He's replaced Johnny Depp, isn't he?
He's the villain in Doctor Strange. He's in loads of things.
Yeah, he is. But again, the fact that they don't instantly spring to mind.
People will know this man.
They'll know when they look at him.
Yeah.
They'll know when they look at him. And I agree, like importing it more westerly, it wouldn't add anything.
No.
The context in Britain or America, really, is going to be the same.
Yeah.
For teachers. It's not like teachers make a lot less or more money.
Yeah, for white middle-aged teachers teaching white students about white history and culture.
Right. Well, that would change. But yes, other than that.
Well, even so, like, I can't imagine... Because it's not like, oh, we're learning about Scandinavian people. Like, they're learning about Hitler and Winston Churchill and Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
Big drinker. Not Hitler, but like...
No.
But that's like the point, isn't it? He's like, oh, you know... Yes. Here are 3 candidates. One of them is like a womanizer and he's a drinker and he's a terrible person. This other guy, he's had like 2 heart attacks and he's a big drinker and he's a terrible person. And here's this other guy who's like really nice to animals. Did you know? Did you figure it out?
100%.
Yeah.
Nice to animals I knew. Like, Hitler.
Yeah.
Because he was a vegetarian, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a vegetarian. He barely smoked.
Cut to Akbar. It's a trap. I know what you're doing, Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, it's like all of that stuff is also translatable. There is not a single scene in this film that you couldn't just copy
word for word,
and it would be lost in translation.
Basically, like the Gus Van Sant remake of Psycho, where he did a shot for shot, beat for beat remake.
It would be that, right?
It would basically be that.
It would basically be that,
but it would be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Unless
doing an Oscar-y, give me an Oscar, another Oscar.
Do we know if Thomas Vinterberg is directing it?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Okay.
Why would he?
No, exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing. Your version would lose his directing.
Which is really good.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't think it was like amazing.
I did.
I recognized it. I recognized its quality. And I would go, okay, I'm happy for that to be nominated for Best Director at the Oscar.
Yeah, I'm just kind of happy that a film like that got a Best Director nomination.
Yeah.
Like because it was up for a BAFTA. I thought, that's because the BAFTAs this year were so idiosyncratic and weird. I said, they've nominated Thomas Vinterberg. I guess this is a fucking weird year at the BAFTAs. And then he was also up for the Oscar.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting. And he does deserve it. It is a well-directed film. But yeah, it's just nice that a film like that, which I suppose is what people would also say about Nomadland, but alas.
Maybe.
Is that it for another round?
I think so.
Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, I like it more.
You do like it
more.
But
we both recommend it.
Yes.
Okay. Now a bit more of a nebulous topic.
Oh, that's exactly what this podcast needs.
Yes.
Nebulous conversation.
Okay. I think the overarching banner could be trust in institutions and cultivating empathy. That's the name of this chapter.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Is that the name of this episode?
Cultivating empathy? I don't know.
Cultivating empathy and blah 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 blah.
It's quite a mouthful.
It is quite a mouthful, but yeah, I'm not sure that, like, if you were to present that drier statement to a potential audience, they'd go, no, I know I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, and then they click and it's okay.
Oh, this will be okay. And then like 2 minutes later, they're like, why am I still listening?
Why am I listening to a film review? It's called Cultivating Empathy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so are you familiar with SJW Central on YouTube?
Oh, are these like the compilation things
just
you've
quickly thrown together compilations of like SJW owned and SJW whatever.
Okay.
They're not high discourse.
No.
I watch them for a laugh, usually when I'm waiting for you to show up.
Right, okay.
There's things I put on.
Oh, so this whole segment is my fault. Because if I was on time, you wouldn't even have seen the thing that inspired us to talk about whatever this is.
Especially for you, it's interesting that you've framed it as your fault rather than your doing. It's like we now have content because of you. Isn't that a good thing?
Well, we'll see what that content is first.
Well, I've been I'm not politically sympathetic to the people that look like idiots in the videos, so I therefore enjoy them. But I've been binging them, and the cumulative effect has remarkably been one of empathy.
Okay.
So you've seen a bunch of Change My Minds, right? Stephen Crowder's thing.
Yeah.
Everyone will know the meme at least. But yeah, he goes to a college campus, sets up a table, and it has Changed My Mind and a proclamation on it. Like, in this instance, rape culture is a myth. And it's kind of like the most popular one, where this girl comes up, starts screaming at him, saying that she was raped and blah, 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 blah. And all the other girls here, like, more have been raped than you think. And he asks her to sit down, but she's hysterical and over-emotional, whatever. Now, a few months ago, this would have elicited contempt or a chuckle. But I was thinking, if she was genuinely raped by the standards of your actual rape, her attitude can be understood, if not excused. Basically, she's not the right person to be having that debate, right?
Okay.
To prove the existence of rape culture. You shouldn't really be getting a rape victim to prove your case.
Okay.
Do you not agree?
Well, what are you saying by that?
I'm saying there's such a thing as conflict of interest. Cops can't investigate their own kin. BLM supporters would theoretically be precluded from serving on the Derek Chauvin jury.
Okay.
There is such a thing as conflict of interest.
Yeah.
She's not the one you dispatched to prove the existence of rape culture. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, should she not? She shouldn't be a part of that conversation.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that if it's a debate that we're supposed to be having, I don't think that she is the ideal candidate for that. I'm sure there are rape. I hate the word survivors. Victims. We need to come up with another word.
Yeah, because the whole point of survivor is because victim is like such a demeaning.
Yeah,
it's such a demeaning word with survivor. It's like, oh, you've.
It's over-egging it though.
Yeah,
I don't like survivor. It's
overcorrection.
It's an overcorrection. Yeah. Rape. Fill in blank. We'll come up with something.
Okay. That is what they did.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing it this episode.
They took a moment to be like, "Oh, that's really not okay." What you just said.
But anyway, so I'm sure there are rape that could have.
You always just call them that.
Yeah, rape.
Yeah.
It's always like you do that when something's taboo. You say rape loudly.
Yeah. So rape.
Rape. I'm sure there is one or two that can have a measured, objective conversation about all that stuff. I've heard those people speak. But anyway, the point is, I was like, I can't hate this person because as far as she's concerned, there is someone on her campus excusing rape. That's what she thinks is happening.
Yeah.
She is wrong, but that's what she thinks. And in her shoes, that makes sense. They'll extrapolate that. To those that genuinely believe, they genuinely believe that they're in the nascence of the Fourth Reich. Reich. And in the context of that conviction, they're behaving rationally.
Yeah.
Like, if you really thought you were living in Nazi Germany version 2, how would you be behaving?
Yeah.
Like, they're wrong. Like, obviously they're wrong.
I'm sort of letting that image digest, I suppose.
There's obviously a failure of parenting and education and stuff like that.
Oh, right, okay.
No, like there is with this generation. Like if they think that they are living in Nazi Germany, basically, they've not been educated very well, have they? But if they do think that, you can't hate it too much. You can hate what generated that mindset.
Yeah.
But and like again, I'll reiterate, I have zero ideological sympathy.
Yeah, we don't want to excuse the result. Even if you're saying like, okay, I understand if this is genuinely what you believe, I understand why you're acting the way you are.
Yes.
You don't want to excuse that behaviour.
Not at all. No. Not at all. They're obnoxious, ignorant, insert derogative, whatever. But I think I get it now.
Okay.
It's almost like basic empathy, like putting yourself in their shoes. But they're so shrill and just repulsive usually. I just can't even like stand it.
Yeah.
Like they think. It reminded me of that Louis C.K. joke when he's talking about abortion, which he's pro. But he was saying like to the people in the audience that are pro-abortion, the pro-lifers, they think you're killing babies. So how do you expect them to behave?
Yeah.
I am pro-life, as you know, more than I am pro. Well, I'm very begrudgingly pro-abortion, let's say.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, like that's what you've got to think. They think you're killing babies, and you think they're just whiny zealots. They think you're killing babies.
Yeah.
How do you think that? Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to think that way about these college kids.
Okay. Is that helping you at all?
Yeah, a bit. I don't know, this year and last year I feel like I keep becoming fucking empathetic. I said to my father this and he went, "Oh, for you, that's good." It's like, you needed that. So,
you being one of the figureheads of this Fourth Reich.
The lack of empathy. Yeah. Yes, I just wanted to say that, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the rape one, I really don't know, actually. Because I know what you're saying about, like, the lack of impartiality.
Yeah.
And when you're having a discussion about an issue like that, it's like, do we live in a rape culture? Is rape... I feel like reasonably, you couldn't look at the culture we live in and go, rape is celebrated.
No.
It's really not. Like, even if a false allegation is made against the guy, that's a stink you can't wash off. Like, you need some very strong shampoo to wash that stink off.
Yeah, I think the argument generally, right, is that it's either ignored, swept under the rug, it's under-prosecuted, and then, like, they widen that to encompass things like catcalling. Like, that creates
that's
the mindset.
That's the thing, yeah. We don't want to expand the boundaries. The risk is that you're expanding the boundaries to such a degree that you're including stuff that it doesn't apply anymore. Yeah. And that is diminishing the effect of the legitimate points.
Yeah. I think rape culture, for it to be such a thing as rape culture, right, it either has to be legal or it has to be generally regarded as not a big deal.
Like with weed, right? Because, like, if you're caught with cocaine or LSD or some, like, illegal drugs, police are like, right, we're taking you in.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, with weed, there's less of a... Like, it's still frowned upon, like, in the eyes of the law, but I think they're a lot more willing to be like, all right, just,
Weed isn't, conservative use of weed is not immoral. It might be illegal, but it's not immoral.
It's not immoral. And I think there have been instances, right, where, like they've caught someone smoking weed and it's like, right, well, I didn't see that.
Yeah, whatever. Like,
I didn't see that. I hope to never see it again. That kind of...
Yeah.
So I guess, like, if you to live in a rape culture, rape would be treated similarly.
Yeah, it's
like, I didn't see the rape, but don't rape again.
Right. It's not just being illegal, because I'm pretty sure the countries where there are rape cultures, it's probably illegal.
Probably, yeah.
But parts of the Middle East.
Well, yeah, that's something I would have to look up. In fairness, I really don't know.
I'm sure they are. But like countries where lawlessness is so rampant, it doesn't even matter. But like the beasts of the southern. Not Beasts of the Southern Part. Yeah. Beasts of No Nation.
Right.
Beasts of No Nation. That, the child soldier African thing. That's a rape culture. Parts of the Middle East are rape cultures.
Yeah.
We do not live in a rape culture. Anyway, I didn't want to go off a tangent about
No. My point was only going to be like, I don't know where I stand, because,
that's fair.
She's not impartial. Someone who has been raped is not impartial. Okay, I understand that.
Yes.
But... that is a perspective worth considering in the conversation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's valuable to hear what that person has to say.
Of course. Yeah. Maybe not in a debate, though. Like, that's trying to prove the existence of rape culture. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it should be a person going, I've spoken to these people who tell me this story. I don't think that person should be... Because you could never, even if they were being as objective as they could, it would be difficult to divorce... like the anecdotal evidence aspect of it almost. Ignoring the impartiality of it, like the fact that she wouldn't be able to be a lawyer for a rape victim, right? Ignoring that, the legal standing of it. Just how emotional she was is what should preclude her from having that conversation. If you're getting upset about a subject that should be talked about reasonably, you should recuse yourself.
Yeah, if we're talking about rape, we kind of need to be on our best behaviour. Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about, like, the potential existence of rape culture and all that. We need to be present.
Yeah.
And not making the jokes that, like, we were making during this discussion.
It's like whenever, I'm annoyed. Someone sent me a message and it's annoyed me. You know my rule. It's like, I never respond in anger. It's like, right, just calm down and then respond. Because that's not you've got to walk away for a second.
Yeah.
And gather your thoughts.
Yeah.
But anyway, that led me to think a bit more broadly about us talking about this sort of stuff on the podcast.
Okay.
Why do we do it, basically? Other than being selfish, because it's what interests us. Well, me anyway. Sometimes it's almost for me, right? I think maybe the listeners, the people who do listen to us, maybe don't necessarily need us, but they might need a counterbalance.
Okay.
They might need to hear somebody talking this way about these issues.
Right.
Doesn't have to be us. I'm not saying, we are the lone voices.
Yeah, no, of course
not. But, yeah, of course not. But I talked before about just feeling kind of depressed with the state of the world and the futility. The futility, the fury, the exasperation, that's all settled for me now. We're just going to keep sharing these stories. It's the Spoon's kitchen. It's a treadmill.
Right.
Like, we're not going to change anything, probably. But I think that's okay. We're just going to be another voice.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Fun. Funfiltered.
Look, betwixt the film reviews and the japes. But still.
Okay,
so...
How does that... Sorry, I probably missed it. How does that tie into empathy? That point...
That doesn't necessarily tie into empathy. It just... I suppose it does. Like, my personal feeling of heightened empathy. Because when we usually talk about these issues, it's fueled by anger and bafflement and bewilderment. And that will recur. But I think I sailed into a port in the storm and thought, why do you talk about this stuff if you're not annoyed about it?
Okay.
So, well, because the world needs a diversity of voices and we can be one of those voices. Okay, so I've got a series of bitty news stuff.
Okay. Is empathy over?
Yeah.
Okay.
The empathy's over.
All right.
Empathy's done now.
Fuck the empathy.
On to annoyance.
Yeah, we're done with empathy. We're done with charity.
Yes.
Now for the
second
fury.
act.
Yeah.
Fury. Okay, so I've titled this section in my notes, A Series of Lies and Travesties. US edition. Okay, so you said you've been out of the loop, sort of news-wise.
Yeah, I've just kind of started a new job, so it's not the type of... It's not like working at store X. I was about to say store again, but I realized I have to keep that going maybe forever now, and we'll see how it goes.
Every little hedge helps.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, I'm not working overnight, like 10 nights a week. Like, my life is not completely over
It's
now.
a 9 to 5.
It's a 9 to 5. It's a far more comfortable, far more... suitable experience, yeah. So yeah, it's not like my schedule is forever ruined. It's just like because I'm starting a new job, I'm finding...
Yeah, you're in the mire.
Yeah, I'm just finding a new schedule. So yes, because of that, I have been out of the loop somewhat with things that are going on.
Yes.
Which is what made it all the more baffling for me.
Yeah.
That you were like, I'm so glad that you didn't bring anything to the podcast this week.
Yeah.
So what have I missed in like the 6 days that I've not been here?
Yeah. Well, yesterday I just sent you a bunch of the required reading, didn't I? Have you read the required reading?
Some of it.
Okay. Well, so the first bit is Fauci. Anthony, the doctor, the American doctor.
Oh, the American doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe
you don't know Fauci?
No. I just assume like, is this like a philosopher or is this
Fauci?
Like, yeah. No, I don't know. Fauci just sounded like one of those names. Like
Nietzsche or something.
I've been reading Fauci.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, his emails have been leaked, haven't they? No, not leaked. I think they legally have been obtained. Like a Freedom of Information request.
What is Fauci to America, I suppose?
He's the leading health specialist, basically. Is he the Surgeon General? He's the guy, he's the face of the medical establishment in America.
Okay, so...
He's been spearheading the anti-COVID thing.
So if this story is unfavourable to Fauci, this is a big deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for contextualising.
No, it's more to help me at the moment, because I really am flying blind at the moment.
Okay. Do you not know much about Fauci then? Have you not been like hearing his name a lot?
No, but like... I'm sure there are like equivalents over here. What's the equivalent? It's like...
I honestly don't know.
It's not Donald. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. See, this is the thing. It's the grass is greener. I don't really follow British politics.
No, but like obviously because through COVID, I think everyone was just watching just to know what was going on. You started watching.
Matt Hancock comes up a lot, but it's not him.
Yeah, it's Matt Hancock. There was three of them, wasn't there? There's Boris Johnson in the middle, then there's Matt Hancock, and then there's the other one who was showing up on all the NHS ads.
Yeah.
He's got a weird face. He's got like a sunken face.
Can't remember his name.
But that one.
But that guy, yeah. Yes, I suppose he's their equivalent.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the released emails reveal that Fauci knew about the effectiveness of masks very early on. And he kind of said that he had lied about that deliberately.
Okay.
To save PPE for key workers.
Right.
But also he knew about that there was evidence of a lab leak.
Oh, right, okay. Is this something that we've alluded to on the podcast before? That it's seeming more and more likely with every day that it was leaked from a Wuhan, from China lab.
From a lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Guardian's reporting on it, so it must be true.
Oh, shit, okay.
Not because the Guardian has such veracity, but because the Guardian, they would be entirely ideologically opposed to people proposing the meme of the Wuhan lab leak.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorists, all that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's looking basically more likely than not that it came from a Wuhan lab.
Deliberately, or
no?
It's just that they weren't able to contain it.
Well, the kind of the straw man argument against this hypothesis is, oh, what, you think the Chinese, they invented this virus to kill their own people? No one's saying that.
No.
We're saying that it escaped.
Yeah.
We're not saying that and that does looks like at the moment that's the case.
Okay.
But he knew about this early on and was discrediting it, and he was getting emails from other doctors saying thank you for doing that.
Right.
And he also knew about immunity post-infection. Basically, while he was telling all of America, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can gang up to protest, but you can't do this, you can't do that. He knew all along that once you caught it, you were basically going to be immune afterwards and all this stuff. So that's the first datum.
Okay, so that's not great.
No.
What is the policy at the moment?
In America, it's different state to state, isn't it?
Yeah, because Red Letter Media did that little skit, didn't they? At the beginning of their Army of the Dead review. It was like, can I wear a mask indoors? And they're like, yes, but only to go indoors. When you're indoors, it's fine, unless you're walking around. But you have to sit at a table to take it off. And
it's kind of like here, isn't it?
But they were throwing all of these confusing rules, most of which I'm assuming the final couple were probably hyperbolic, but
arbitrary system.
But then the beginning ones, this is completely arbitrary. And there's I don't even know if they're rumors, but you have to wear 3 masks, and you have to. I don't even know. We're in a position in the UK at the moment where we're getting very close to things maybe just
No, it's been delayed again, hasn't it?
It has been delayed again. It's going back to July. Yeah. But we were told that at the end of June it'll all be over. And it's not going to be over in the sense that we won't have to wear masks anymore, and the virus will be gone and everything will be okay. Normal means something different to what it was before. But we're very close to getting to the point where it's the UK is just open now,
Yeah.
So I don't even know where America is at the moment.
This is the thing. Obviously, viruses mutate, and there's maybe we're going to need a vaccine every year kind of thing. I don't know. Whatever. Everyone's going to vaccinate it at the moment. We are quite far ahead in terms of vaccinations. There's obviously something I'm missing. I don't know why we don't open up after everyone's vaccinated. Why the masks and all this bullshit after everyone's been vaccinated? What's the point of being vaccinated?
Yeah.
Am I being a simpleton here? But I thought vaccination means you don't catch it. Or if you catch it, it doesn't kill you.
No, if you catch it, you are symptomless, but you are carrying the virus.
That's fair enough. But if everyone's vaccinated...
But everyone isn't vaccinated.
No, but the people who choose not to be, that's their problem.
No, but you have to factor in people who can't be vaccinated. I'm assuming pregnant women, they're usually excluded from things. You can't.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so...
There's probably people with underlying health conditions that, they can't... Whether there's, a component of the vaccine. Because when I went to get my first vaccine, there was a bit of a...
you confused
I confused the woman a bit. Because I was like, I think I've got a nickel allergy. And she was like... You think you've got a nickel allergy? It's I've been told I've had one, but I've never noticed any effects.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry.
Wait here.
Yeah. I have to go speak to someone now. But she was like, it's fine. There's no nickel in the vaccine. So maybe if you have an allergy to something that's in the vaccine, you can't have it. So there will, admittedly, there will be a lot of people who's just I'm not getting the vaccine because blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But there will be people who genuinely can't get the
fair
vaccine.
Enough.
And we don't want them to suffer. Do we?
Well, obviously not.
No.
This is my position on it. I've got a life to lead. I know that sounds selfish. No.
A little bit, but I'll see where you go with this.
You protect the vulnerable, people who can't have it or whatever. But it's Spock. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Okay.
After a certain point, I'm not staying home because someone somewhere might have a bad reaction. I'm not doing it. Why should I? I'm a free human being.
Yeah.
And after I've been vaccinated... I shouldn't have to wear a mask either.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know. Firstly, I don't know if the argument I'm presenting is even valid. I don't know if this is the thinking of the people who are telling us we still have to wear masks. And I don't know if that thinking is true. I don't know if the idea is that, because those people can't have the vaccine, you will forever have to wear a mask.
Right.
It could just be a case of, we still want you to wear masks until we can figure out a way around this issue.
Also, we're not done yet, so just don't complicate it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. We don't want to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, some people will be vaccinated, but some people won't be. So
Yeah.
like some of you can take your masks off, but some of you...
And some people are going to lie about it
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly, yeah. So
Right.
it's like, if everyone just wears masks, then we all know where everyone is at the moment.
And that's
we all know where
fine.
we all stand, and we're not confusing anyone.
But I said, didn't I think, really early on, like, everyone's waiting for that day when all of a sudden the masks come off and everything opens. Not going to happen. I was talking with someone on... I just realised it was Tinder. So I was talking with someone on Tinder about this.
Okay.
And she said to me, do you think life will ever be normal again?
Is this what Tinder is now? It used to be like, oh, I have pictures of my dog, and now it's like, do you think
There's also that.
do you think things will ever be the same again?
No, the Tinder is no Tories. That's what Tinder is.
Oh, right.
But she said, will it ever be normal again? I said, as a pessimist, I still unbelievably think yes, but not because the government is going to tell us when. I think people are just going to get impatient.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to go live life now.
I feel like that
it's kind of happening.
Yeah.
But that will build up to a point where it will tip over, where they can't enforce anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's still, like, because we've been to a couple of drinking establishments now. Mm-hmm. And apart from the fact that you have to wear a mask to move between the table and the toilet.
And you've got to pay at the table. And
you got to pay at the table, and obviously you can't move from your table.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's like, this is what we were doing before.
Yeah, you can't dance, obviously. But what we're missing is spontaneity. That's what you're missing. You can't just go to a pub because you feel like it.
No.
Want to go to the pub? Oh, have we booked a table? That's what people are missing.
Yeah.
And the fact you can't just incidentally meet somebody. That's what pubs are for. That even if you just go in there with your mate, you might meet somebody. You might have a chance encounter that you can't really do that anymore.
No.
Like we went to a pub to meet our friends' girlfriends' friends.
Yes.
And we couldn't sit at the same table as them. And it's just like...
No, okay, so we couldn't... We pulled chairs around.
Yeah.
With an admittedly already rather crowded table.
Yes.
So, like, you were behind someone and I was behind you.
Yeah.
Because that was just the arrangement that we had.
Yeah.
And the guy came over and was like, I'm sorry, I can't allow this.
Yeah.
But what I can do is I can move them to that table. And we were basically the same distance.
It's a farce.
Yeah.
It is a farce, but, like, because it follows the rules. I know, like, he probably would allow it. But if someone was to report it, fine, whatever.
Exactly.
Totally understand, even though he's a wanker. But, so I know the guy, he's a wanker.
His name is...
But, yeah, you just like, really? Has this really made a difference?
Yeah.
And the whole thing is absurd, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, let's move off from that.
Okay.
Are you familiar with hydroxychloroquine?
Hang on, what is happening?
What do you mean, what's happening?
Fauci. We were talking about Fauci.
Yeah, that was done now.
We were talking about Fauci. We tangented from Fauci.
Into COVID.
And
now we're staying in COVID for a little bit.
Oh, we're staying in COVID?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is hydrogen peroxide or whatever you just said?
Hydroxychloroquine.
What's that?
It's part of a treatment for COVID. Like that was kind of trialed early on, basically.
Right.
Donald Trump was singing its praises a lot. And then some woman apparently made her husband drink Drano because it contained...
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah,
some shit like that.
No, because like the story that I heard was, that he was saying you should drink...
Drain cleaner.
Like bleach or something because it contains the thing that kills the virus.
It's not true. It's not true. But the story was some woman had made her husband drink it and he died. I think it's later transpired that it was murder or something. I don't know. Anyway, and because Trump was for it, the media was against it. I'm like, oh, how dare you? You're spreading false whatever. It's now been shown to be effective. Right. If you take it with zinc, which no one was ever saying you take it alone, you take it with supplements, it could increase the COVID survival rate by 200%.
Oh, shit.
That's what it could have done if it had been used early on.
Okay.
So that's quite a big lie, isn't it?
Why did Trump endorse it?
Because like early trials seemed positive. They seemed to be generating good results. But because he was for it, everyone else had to be against it.
No, I see that. Yeah. I see that. Well, I see it a bit. If there's like concrete evidence that it's working.
I think it's obvious. It's become more concrete recently.
Okay.
But the fact that it was discredited, like how dare you even say the word? But they're now saying that it could have saved a lot of lives.
Saved a lot of people, okay.
Yeah. So that's another lie.
Right.
Here's the third. Were you ever familiar with the story about Trump clearing out peaceful protesters from the front of a church?
Not from the front of a church.
Okay. For a photo op, basically. So it's a lie. But he wanted a photo. He had a photo taken.
You're throwing things at me so quickly, Sam. I can't even keep up.
Trump had a picture of him taken outside the front of a burnt out church.
Okay.
And the story was that the police had moved in and evacuated all these peaceful protesters so he could have his moment.
No, I might know this because didn't like Joe Biden, because Joe Biden was running for president at the time, and he was like, Trump just
fired.
Trump just attacked the American people so that he could take a photo.
Yeah,
or something.
And Kamala Harris parroted it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not true. It's come out that there's been an inquiry into it. Plans were made 2 days earlier to build fences around the area to protect cops, because cops are being attacked by these peaceful protesters.
Trump must just be at a point now where he's like, when someone's like, we're going to launch an inquiry against him, he's like, fucking come on then.
The thing is that... The thing is,
no one survives the inquiry better than me.
No one does deniability better than me. Sam Harris hates Trump. Yeah. And he's always slacking him off, right? But he did make the point, like, you don't need to lie about this guy to have a problem with him.
No.
With which I agree. Like, he has plenty of flaws and faults.
I can understand, like, you know, if you hate someone, you want them to be
as bad as possible.
Like, I don't know if this is, like, also tying in the empathy point a little bit. But, like, a video that I've sort of been watching over the past few days. Are you familiar with Dark Side Phil?
No.
I didn't think you would be. But
is he a gamer?
He is a gamer. Okay. He is a Twitch gamer.
Okay.
He's one of those gamers that like streams
himself. Tourette's, does he?
No, Sam.
I'm playing the part of a old fuddy-duddy.
Playing the part, is it?
I committed
the fucking 60-year-old in your 20s that you are.
Yeah, I've been methoding since I was 10. Yeah.
Wasn't it literally like you were thinking of doing stand-up at one point, and that was literally going to be your routine?
My shtick.
Yeah.
It was like, it's good, the kids, they have a reading festival now. Stuff like that.
I went to this reading festival. Yeah. Alas. It was not what I thought.
It was loud.
Loud music and all sorts. No books to be seen. Yeah. He streams himself playing video games and stuff. And there was this video which was like, the top 10 worst moments of 2020, like Dark Side Phil's top 10 worst moments
in gaming or in
just in the year.
All right.
And it was weird because like the video was like presented as almost like this David Attenborough-esque documentary, like he's clearly mimicking his voice.
Well, if he's a live streaming gamer,
I
imagine that there's quite a light tone to his content.
Well, that's the thing.
All of a sudden we're getting like George Floyd in the top 10. I imagine that was in there, right?
What?
Was George Floyd in his top 10 worst moments?
No, you misunderstand.
Oh, I see.
Someone that was not Dark Side Phil made a top 10 worst moments of Dark Side Phil.
Oh, okay, my apologies. Okay, yes. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so yes, like it was like a 3-hour video because he's a streamer, because obviously there's tons and tons of content.
Yes.
And there were like some moments in there where it was like they were like, I think there was like a guy. Are you familiar with
Probably not.
I'll give it a go. I think he's called not Angry Atheist. What's he called?
Oh,
Tech Review USA.
How do you confuse those two?
I don't know.
I've heard of Angry Atheist. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, well I think Tech Review USA. I could be wrong, but I think he talked about like the news. You know, he's one of those guys. Like the news has just come out. Naughty Dog have announced that they don't like men anymore. Like one of those people. Okay. Not as reductive as that. It was like genuine news, but he would speak out against like.
Okay, he co-baited it a bit, did he?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think now he's doing like podcast content. He's kind of evolved a little bit. Mm-hmm. And Dark Side Phil was like I think he mentioned him on one of his streams. Mm-hmm. This was one of the moments, and he mentioned him on one of his streams. And news got back to Review Tech USA. So he was like, I'm going to ask Phil if he wants to be on my podcast. Mm. And Phil was like, I don't want to be on this guy's podcast. That's ridiculous. And then Review Tech USA goes on like this massive rant. Mm. It's like, I can't believe he's so irrelevant. Why is he like this? You know, you can't just go around trash talking people.
Okay.
Like they kind of like, I kind of see what he's saying.
Right.
You can't just go around trash talking people and then just dismissing them as if like they're like this big rant.
Right.
And then at the end, it's someone like, because he's streaming his rant while Dark Side Phil is streaming, because this is what culture is.
Yeah.
Now. And then like someone says, by the way, Dark Side Phil's talking about you. He's like, he's still talking about me. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's this loser? What's he saying? Despite the fact that he was just doing a rant.
Yeah.
So it's like moments in that video where it's like, I see what the video is presenting to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you're being a bit reductive towards Dark Side Phil.
Hypocritical.
Bit hypocritical in that instance as well. But then when you get to like the more egregious examples towards the end of the video, it talks about how like Darkside Phil filed for bankruptcy.
Right.
And he completely falsified all of the evidence on his bankruptcy report.
Right, okay.
Because they managed to access the document that he gave. And he was saying like, oh, I don't have a cat. I don't have my own apartment. I don't have blah, blah, blah. And they were showing clips from his videos showing that he has all of these things he said he didn't have.
Right.
So the thing that I'm sort of doing here is I'm tying it back into empathy in the sense that like, yeah, I kind of like, I don't like this Darkside Phil.
Yeah.
Because his content is awful. He like genuinely, he started, I think it was over the course of like 7 months. He basically started this thing where if he gets over $100 of donation in a stream, he'll put on a vest.
Oh, how whimsical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a beige vest.
Right.
And he earned something like £30,000 worth of donations just putting on a vest. Yes. Right? This is the quality of the content of the man.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it gets to the point where like he's lying to the like, and they somehow got access to the hearing. Right. Of like him saying, like him presenting all of the evidence to the judge that he filed for bankruptcy. And again, it's all fabrications. But for whatever reason, they granted him bankruptcy.
Okay, so he's granted bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Did it come out that he had done it erroneously, or has the internet investigated it?
The internet has investigated it.
Okay.
And
where have all the reporters gone? Because not only the ideology and the idealistic reporting, the narrative-driven reporting, ignoring all that, the journalism is dead. But like the Derek Chauvin trial, the litigators couldn't fucking find the guy's Facebook account.
Yeah.
And now the bank, they can't like Google the guy. Do you know what I mean?
No, but there's a moment in the recording where I think the judge is on the line, he's on the line, like Darkside Phil's on the line, his lawyer is on the line, and then there's somebody who represents the bank is on the line as well.
Yeah.
And I think Darkside Phil put down that he's like his business expenses. There's something like this could be like an incorrect figure. It was like $4,000 a month. He's a streamer.
Right.
He plays video games in his house. What is he spending $4,000 a month on?
Yeah.
And how can he justify those as business expenses? So of course, like he just put a lot of bullshit in the document.
Yeah.
And the guy from the bank was like, I'm looking at your document here. Can you explain to me what you're spending $4,000 a month on?
Yeah.
And the guy and him and his lawyer are both like, well, we put it in the form. It's like, yeah, I'm looking at the form. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
And I think the judge just eventually just kind of goes, oh, we need to move on.
Okay.
And yeah, he's granted, like the guy has literally just earned $30,000 for putting on a vest and he's been granted bankruptcy.
I see.
So like it's tying into the empathy thing in the sense that like, I don't like the guy at all.
Yeah.
And I think that he's kind of scummy.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, there were moments in that video I was like, I kind of like, the people who are criticizing him, they're either as bad or like, I'm not seeing the point that you're making.
Yeah.
And it also ties into your point about Trump. Like, yeah, this guy like cheated the system. You don't have to make up reasons to hate him.
Yeah. Like there are things I dislike about him, but the
Trump now, because obviously...
Sorry, Trump.
Yeah, you don't know Darkside.
I don't know Darkside.
Yeah. Trump, plenty of reasons to hate Trump.
Yeah, but...
You don't need to invent them.
The timbre of his critics, I just hate them so much more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. I said before, Joel, I think politically, you know, I skew conservative, but politically and culturally, this podcast is to be in the middle, to be the impartial, like, what's going on? It's the same we talked about it before with, on the one hand, you've got let's award films because there's a black guy in it.
Yeah.
And then Shapiro was saying, you know, good films.
We should only be awarding films that make
money.
All the money at the box office.
Yeah, the world needs us.
Yeah. Let's just award a film that's good, all right?
For God's sake, let's go back to basics.
A film that's good and not boring and didn't make all the money in the world. Let's do that, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's fair enough.
And now we're here saying, like, you know, Trump is like a dislikable individual.
Yeah, he's a liar.
Without you having to invent all of this bullshit.
Right, exactly, yeah.
The fact that you've invented this bullshit. Because what that now does is it makes you...
Yeah, it vindicates his most diehard supporters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, like you're making all this shit about Trump. It shows that he's not this villain that you say he is.
Especially people... Because here's the thing. I know that the game is rigged when it comes to media. And, you know, there's a disproportionate liberal monopoly on all that stuff. Evidently.
Yeah.
I'm not in my echo chamber. I try to read and watch as much as I can from across the spectrum. Okay, I have people that I frequent more, whatever. That's because I've learned to trust them.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the people who say, the whole game's rigged against Trump are conspiracy theorists. But the people on the far reaches, on the margins of that are like, the government, they're going to try and take down the fucking democracy and we'll go out with a gun. And those people, you're fueling their paranoia. Because they're kind of right about some of it is the problem.
Yeah. But this like, he attacked the American people. No, the American people you're referring to were attacking the police.
Stop making shit up. You're justifying the blowback.
Yeah.
Right, so that was the third lie, I think.
Okay.
Or fourth, I suppose, if Darkside... if you want to include
Darkside Phil, yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for the lies. But then, well, I suppose it's kind of a lie. I can't remember the name of it, but a prominent medical or psychological journal in America has now classified whiteness as a disorder. Whiteness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know much more about it than that.
When you say whiteness, do you mean
being white? Well, we've talked
even
about this,
then. Do you mean like physically being white or like
acting white,
culturally, quote unquote, being white?
Well, this is the thing we've talked about. It's a meaningless word. Whiteness. I think I said, if not the last podcast, the one before, unless you're talking about the pallidity of something, it's paleness.
Yeah.
Or look at the sheer whiteness of that wall. It means nothing. So look at him walking around with all his whiteness.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I actually don't know what you mean. But yeah, it's now been included as a disorder. And whatever that journal is, it obviously needs to never be taken seriously ever again.
Well, I think I would certainly like to know the name of that journal. Because I really want to see how they've justified it. Like, firstly, what...
Should I Google it and then you can edit out the silence?
Sure.
Okay, so I've just Googled it. Look at that editing. It was a research article published last month in the Journal of the American Psychoanalytic Association. It called whiteness a malignant parasitic-like condition.
Parasitic?
Parasitic. Yeah.
Hang on, what?
It connects onto people. I don't know what that means.
Malignant. Break down the words for me. What exactly are they saying?
Oh God! If you think they think what they mean by the words they use?
No, the meaning of the words they've actually used.
Okay,
don't try and burrow into what they think they've said.
Okay.
What have they actually said?
They've called whiteness a malignant, parasitic-like condition.
Okay.
So malignant, that it's cancerous, basically. It's deadly. It infects.
Okay.
And parasitic, that it latches onto people. So it's something that I guess like the behaviours are mimicked in the wild.
Right.
And it's a thing that's self-destructive as well as extraneously destructive.
Okay. And it's what we think. Like, it's not like, whiteness... some Latin word of like, it's actually this other condition.
I'm reading on, right? The article's called On Having Whiteness. It was written by Dr. Donald Moss, a white man, who is a faculty member of both the New York Psychoanalytic Institute and the San Francisco Center for Psychoanalysis.
Okay.
In the article, I'm reading from Newsweek, by the way, Moss wrote that white people have a particular susceptibility to the condition.
White people have a susceptibility
to being white. Which he claims renders its hosts... He's really like going in on this metaphor. There's so many metaphors. It renders its hosts' appetites voracious, insatiable, and perverse. He explained he believed whiteness establishes entitled dominion that enables the host to have power without limit, force without restriction, violence without mercy, and increases one's drive to terrorize. This is racism. This is just racism. I don't care that a white guy did it.
Okay. Right. Okay. So...
Because it's funny, and then it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when it's like, it's like this cancerous parasite.
Yeah.
Like,
shut up,
right.
idiot.
And then he's like, no, it makes you greedy, and it makes you want to terrorize, and it makes you want to... What are you... Okay. Is there any... it's probably too much to go into at the moment, because we are reading this.
Yeah.
I'm at least reading this for the first time.
Yeah.
Does it actually like explain the science of it, quote unquote? Like how this parasitic cancer manifests and how it how it infects the host? Because like it's all well and good being like, whiteness is a parasite because white people tend to want things.
Yeah, what's its medical etymology basically?
Yeah, like okay, is this like a physical virus? Is it hereditary? Are you born with it? If you're a mixed race person, are you immune to it or can you be infected? Like explain something.
Bear with, because I'm kind of passing through the reaction as well as the actual content of the thing.
Yeah.
So Moss also wrote that he felt whiteness easily infiltrates even groups founded on the protection of individuals on democratic principles. He postulated treatment for the condition. Effective treatment, this is all quotes now, effective treatment consists of a combination of psychic and social historical interventions.
Right.
What he's done here, I'll carry on now, but he's fused actual medicine / psychology with a metaphor with kind of socio-political...
Is this official, or is this just one nutter in his off time?
Oh, it's one guy, and like a lot of people have said, what is this racist bullshit? Yeah, I don't know how kind of representative
if it's
this
like
is.
being implemented into a medical journal as like an officially recognized condition,
Well, it's been published.
Then bloody fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean,
but if it's like just one guy who's like, here is my proposal.
It's one guy, and it might just be this lone nutter but it was published in a medical journal. Like it has at least that cachet to it. So
I don't know how to tell you this, sir, but I think you might be white.
Well, yeah. Only a white person could write about white people like this.
Yeah.
Such interventions can reasonably aim only to reshape whiteness's infiltrated appetites.
I like how it's all, this bullshit of like, oh, if you're white, you're greedy, you want to take, you want to oppress people, you want to terrorize people. In order to treat the condition, you have to educate yourself.
That's the thing. It's grandstanding in like this abstract, nebulous, it almost sounds right thing. Like, right, can you actually tell me what you mean?
Yeah.
What are the facts? But he's combining poetry with concrete.
Yeah.
Like, it's a medical journal, but he's writing about it poetically.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I hit this brilliant kind of framing device, this theme, and I'm just going to really like burrow into it.
Yeah, this doesn't belong in a medical journal.
Of course,
you need to provide.
Well, look, it's not even right poetically, let alone fucking medically.
No, but like if this was like a film where it's like, there's this alternate universe where whiteness is a parasite.
Yeah, like a Jordan Peele film.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fuck you, but also like
whatever.
Right,
it's a
poetry, art, metaphors, propaganda, whatever.
Yeah.
I expect this from cinema now. But I don't expect
medicine
this from Yeah, like, oh, it's this parasite. Okay, is it like, is it, what type of parasite is it? Is it like this, is it part of this strain? Is it its own, does it belong to, is it like a fungal? Does it belong to this family of viruses? Is it completely new? Oh, no, it's just conditioned.
It's a cognitive parasite.
It's a cognitive parasite.
It's a mindset, man.
Yeah, it's in your brain somewhere. I don't know. You just have to educate yourself.
Yeah, it's like in The Matrix when he says, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes, and then explaining that it's an actual rabbit hole. No. That was a metaphor. Right. Such interventions can reasonably aim only to reshape whiteness's infiltrated appetites, to reduce their intensity, redistribute their aims, and occasionally turn those aims toward the work of reparation.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Moss wrote in an abstract summary for the journal, when remembered and represented, the ravages wrought by the chronic condition can function either as warning, never again, or as temptation, great again. It's a political hit piece. It's an anti-Trump.
How's it anti-Trump?
Oh, the ravages, he's wreaked, it's wrought, he can't even write. By the chronic condition can function either as warning, never again, or as temptation, great again. Make America great again.
Oh, right, okay.
It's propaganda. It's what we knew it was.
Yeah.
Even with treatment, Moss wrote, there is no guarantee against regression, and there is not yet a permanent cure. Well, I've got a permanent cure for whiteness for him.
Mm-hmm.
Stick a gun in his mouth and pull the trigger.
Right. Okay.
I mean, the corpse will be white and get even whiter, but
that's the thing.
But at least the host can't spread the parasite.
That's the horrible thing, isn't it? Like, rabies. Like, like when you're dead, you're not suffering from rabies anymore.
Yeah.
When he's dead, he's still going to be white.
Yeah.
His whiteness won't go away.
But it won't spread.
No. No. Yeah.
It won't spread. Okay, so that's that.
Okay.
Whole point being that you're being lied to and you can't trust anybody.
Okay.
Do not trust the establishments. I'm not just saying this from like a...
We only have 9 subscribers, please help us out perspective. You're not coming from that perspective.
No. Nor like being a contrarian. Like... You're being lied to.
Yeah.
It's real. You can't trust the establishments anymore. So that's America.
Oh God, we have our own version.
Not that. but maybe as bad.
Oh dear.
So a couple of stories from our sceptred isle. Sexnotgender. You heard about this? Hashtag Sexnotgender?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in reference to something.
There was a lady called Maya Forstater.
I assume
Or
this is...
Forstater.
How many status does she have?
4.
She has 4 status.
Forstater.
I see, okay.
Forstater.
4 status.
She was sacked from this organisation for saying that sex is real, essentially. And it went to court, took the company to court, and the judge ruled that gender-critical beliefs fall under the Equalities Act.
Okay.
Which is that's a good thing.
No, like in this context, I'm assuming sex means male and female.
Yeah.
It doesn't account
Biology.
for trans into.
Well, that's kind of what the whole thing is about.
Yeah,
isn't it?
like trans into the gender tri thing.
Tri, bi, poly, non-binary.
Tri-bi-poly, non-binary.
Yeah. Yes.
So sex is just there's sex is real. There's men and there's women.
That's what she basically said.
Right.
Like I don't think she even was anti-trans. I don't know, but TERF is the word that's thrown around now, right? Like trans exclusionary feminists, basically.
Oh, okay.
So I don't. There's a civil war in feminism, isn't there? There's the old school feminist J.K. Rowling. They're like, we don't dislike trans people, and they're entitled to trans rights, but women have rights as well, and they're distinct, and women are real. And then you've got the new frontier of feminists that call them birthers. You can't say women. Birthing people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but like people in the American Parliament.
Yeah,
it's not the Parliament.
It's not the Senate or whatever.
The Senate.
Congress.
Yeah, they were saying like black birthing people.
Yeah, not mothers.
Yeah, America is to black birthing people.
Right. So,
which is holy shit.
Yeah, and basically, it seems a landmark case in some sense. Just that it's being celebrated by people like me, just because she's allowed to say that, essentially, right? And the obvious caveat, all usual caveats, it's not an excuse to now go like abuse trans people. Like, oh, good, we can now spit on. No, we're obviously not saying anything.
Which wasn't even doing that to begin with.
No, which she wasn't even doing. But crucially, J.K. Rowling tweeted a tweet of support, and it said, and I quote, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but forcing women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real, then like hashtag I stand with Maya." And under this, there's a torrent of abuse from her fans, as you might expect. Like, didn't think I'd ever say this, but fuck you, J.K. Rowling.
You've been doing nothing but that for like a while now, right?
Yeah.
How long has J.K. Rowling ceased to exist in the eyes of Harry Potter fans?
A couple of years, is it? Since it all blew up with her.
All of a sudden Dobby wrote the books instead.
So Dobby wrote the books, yeah. So childish, isn't it? But yeah, the fact that that's a controversial position in 2021. That tweet is controversial.
Yeah.
Do whatever you fuck you want, but sex is real.
Yeah.
And that's the controversial
women exist, thing. Guys. Like, how dare you?
I basically said as much on Twitter, and someone called me a conservatard. Which is one of my crowning moments, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's going.
That's going on the epitaph, surely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sam Reese, son, friend, conservatard.
Conservatard, absolutely. Yeah. I like that. So that's one, and the other is: are you familiar with diversity, Jordan?
Is this a trick question?
The dance troupe Diversity.
Oh, them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The least diverse dance group in existence.
Indeed.
Called Diversity.
Yeah. But then they're not white, so that counts as being diverse.
Yes, but like within the group themselves.
No.
They're all black.
I know, but diversity to them means just not white, doesn't it? You can all be Black Panther is diverse.
Yes, but let's not forget, Sam, that words do mean things.
They do.
The word diversity does not mean, everyone is the same thing.
It's the same, just not the same as what most people are.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So back last year, I think, maybe this year, probably last year, they did a dance routine on Britain's Got Talent. The kind that was about 2020 and mainly about George Floyd.
Okay.
And had this routine where it was like people dressed as cops standing on the necks of...
Do you know what, Sam? I am shocked.
I know.
I did not expect that to happen.
No.
I am surprised it was diversity. I thought they were gone.
Oh yeah, they're black, aren't they?
No. But just like Ashley Banjo. That's the one, right? Ashley Banjo.
A banjo. Yeah.
A banjo. Yeah. He was like the judge on like this dance show that was cancelled.
Ah, right. Okay.
So I thought like, oh yeah, you're done now.
Well, the Britain's Got Talent winners, gone, over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but they were a thing for a while, and they seemed to be like, because they won.
They won. They beat Susan Boyle, I think.
I think it was that year. Yeah,
controversially. Yeah,
yeah, they beat Susan Boyle. No, yeah, I don't think anything was foul was at play.
No, it just
like, it was a win.
A surprise win. Yeah,
it was a surprise win. Were they the first non-singers to win?
They might. I don't know.
Because Britain's Got Talent obviously is a variety talent show, and they were just singers winning all the time. It's like this is just the X Factor.
It's the X Factor, yeah.
But yeah, they won. It was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I genuinely thought that like, they're unique in the sense that winners don't usually last.
No.
If you look at most Britain's Got Talent and X Factor winners, it's usually the runners-up. Like Little Mix didn't win the X Factor, and yet they're one of the biggest stars to come out of it. One Direction, I think they're X Factor, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think they won in the year that they...
No, they came second or third, I think.
They came second or third, and they I don't even know who won in the year that One Direction...
Nor do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the biggest success of the X Factor, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. But so Diversity were a unique case in that they seem to be doing all right considering that they were winners.
Well, a way to stay relevant is to be outraged, isn't it?
I suppose.
They did this routine, and it was the most complained about TV moment of the year. 30,000 complaints.
Yeah.
I wrote an article. I'll do what I usually do. I'll plug the article.
What's the article called, Sam?
It's called The Voice of Diversity.
Wonderful.
There you go. It's on my WordPress. Wonderful. And they won a BAFTA the other night for must-see moment of the year. Must-see TV moment of the year or whatever.
Is that a BAFTA?
It's an audience voted for BAFTA, yeah.
Did that happen at the BAFTAs?
Yeah.
Or have there been other BAFTAs that I'm not aware of?
No, it happened at the BAFTAs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, at the TV BAFTAs.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, the TV
oh,
BAFTAs.
yes, yeah, those BAFTAs.
Those BAFTAs,
yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they happen as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was over, a lot of minorities won, but yeah,
Yes.
they won the audience award, voted for by the public.
Okay.
Whether you believe that or not, whatever, okay?
Okay.
It's reminded me of seeing Mrs. Brown, of The Boys, talking to Caitlyn Jenner about transgenderism.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Jesus. It feels like
Did we figure out what was going on there? That, like, whether, like, she's modified... Well, he has modified the format. I'm talking about Mrs. Brown. I'm not talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. She's modified the format.
Yeah. Well, she's modified it so that, like, it's a talk show now. Or whether...
I think
it's
still
still
different shows.
Yeah, it's still a sitcom, but for some reason, it's like, oh, now we're just going to talk to Caitlyn Jenner for a while?
I think it's two distinct shows.
Okay.
I think there's the sitcom.
Yeah,
as
Mrs.
twere,
Brown's Boys.
And then a chat show.
Right, okay.
And, like, maybe a variety show as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a franchise, Sam.
I know. Yeah, it's a movie, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a movie. It almost feels like we talked about this before, right? I hope no terrorists are listening. But
Okay.
I said, like, if I was a terrorist,
Yes.
the way to strike real terror is, okay, you don't get the numbers, but you don't go shoot up or blow up a stadium. Just go into a residential area and walk into someone's house and kill them. It will cultivate the feeling that nobody is safe anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like that's what they're doing with this. Target the most anodyne television you can. The most beige... inoffensive
Britain's
television.
Got Talent, yeah.
And bring politics to it.
Yeah.
Go on Mrs. Brown's Boys, go on Britain's Got Talent and make
Yeah.
it political. Because everything must be political.
That's where the people are, Sam, and the people want to hear what we have to say. Because everyone agrees with us. They just don't have the... We have to be the brave ones.
Oh, yeah.
We have to be the ones brave enough to tell them that they actually agree with us.
Yeah. Well, Ashley Banjo thanked the 30,000 complainers.
Right.
Basically saying, like, I got to thank you in a way because you showed that racism is still very much a part of our culture and everything.
Okay.
It's like, oh, right, yeah, all 30,000 of those complaints were, yes, the most vicious probably bobbed to the surface.
Yeah.
But that was people who just didn't want to be lectured to on Britain's Got Fucking Talent. They don't need someone coming on going, it's also got problems.
Yeah. Oh, thank God, my working week is over. I get to sit down and watch Britain's Got... Oh, no!
Yeah, because let's face it, the people watching
away.
Britain's Got Talent aren't the people who shape the conversation.
No.
They're not the writers and the journalists and the artists, and they're not watching. It's your everyday John and
No, they don't shape the conversation, but they are the ones that the conversation is being had at.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, like, the conversation... They're the ones that the people having the conversation want to listen to the conversation.
Right. Yeah. The ones they want to win over,
yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Or otherwise just talk down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like people on the right, because this is, I imagine, given what's just happened, Diversity, probably safe to say that they're more left-leaning.
I would have thought so.
I don't feel like people on the right tend to go after. They know that like Britain's Got Talent. That's like a no. What's the demilitarized zone?
DMZ, yeah.
Yeah. No, Britain's Got Talent, The X Factor, Mrs. Brown Boys. Those are DMZs.
Yeah, it's...
We don't bring the conversation there because the people they just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's neutral ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and bring it back to what we were talking about earlier, that, everything is political, or people are trying to make everything political.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it, like, it's called must-see moment of the year. That's neutral, isn't it? That's a neutral accolade.
Yeah.
A car crash at Hindenburg was must-see.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Oh, the humanity.
9/11 was probably a must-see.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I just... Obviously, I'm being a bit glib. Like, they obviously mean best TV moment of the year or whatever. But I just... It's like looking at a car crash. Everyone slows down on a motorway to look at a car crash.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
I was on my way here today and there were some sheep in the middle of the road.
You're just looking at the sheep.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, sheep. I live in Wales. I've seen sheep before.
Yeah.
They're usually in a field. They're not in Ponty Town Centre.
Novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, sheep. There's 4 of them as well.
4 sheep.
4 sheep.
4 sheep.
4 sheep. 4 statter. 4 sheep.
4 sheep, yeah.
I suppose the question, because you said, like, a way to stay relevant is outrage, to generate outrage. Do you think diversity thought that they would be generating outrage, or do you think they would genuinely, we're sending a message here, we're doing a good thing?
I think both.
Okay.
I don't think it's fake. I think they believe what they did.
Yeah, they clearly believe in the message that they were conveying. But did they do it with the understanding that we're going to make some people angry and that's good? Or do you think we're going to validate some people and that's good?
Maybe the scale of it wasn't anticipated.
Okay.
But
I don't see how. If you're going to do a George Floyd dance routine at the end of 2020...
But 30,000 complaints. Maybe they didn't anticipate that many. But yes, you do something like this knowing full well that people aren't going to like it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the appeal for you.
I'm surprised that it's 30,000, but like... Not that like, it's only that.
You think it's too low?
Yeah.
I guess that...
Because I mean, I'm not thinking of it as I think most people. You included maybe. I'm not thinking of it in terms of the right and the left. I'm thinking of it in terms of the right, the left, and then everyone in between.
They're the ones who are complaining. It's not
everyone in between are the ones that don't want to hear it. Yeah, exactly.
It's my dad and my granddad and
it's like I just want to watch the fucking people do the dance. I don't want to know. I came here to forget about George Floyd.
I suppose it's really high when you think of the selection sample. So it's A, people who watch Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
B, people that would be annoyed by it.
Yeah.
And C, people that would be annoyed enough to complain about it.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, you'd think that would be quite a small sample. So that is high. 30,000 is high. But I see what you're saying.
I suppose in Britain as well.
And British people.
Yeah. Oh, that's irritating. I'll bring it up with Stacey on Monday.
Letter. Yeah, exactly. They don't care about us. They don't. It's either they didn't know. They obviously knew it would generate controversy. It was done to generate controversy. Or they live in such an echo chamber, rarefied bullshit, that it simply wouldn't occur to them that there are people who don't agree, who don't think it's right, who don't think it's what's the word I'm looking for, Jord? Appropriate, I suppose.
Okay.
Who don't think it's an appropriate venue to be doing that sort of thing.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean? It's not politics is everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. I don't know.
Maybe it is that.
But that's that.
Okay.
Should we do another film review and leave all that behind us?
Oh, yay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When I say yay, I'm excited because it's a film review. I'm not excited because, thank God, we can no longer talk about the thing.
Surge.
Yes, Surge.
Plot it.
Oh no!
That's your job, clearly.
Well, can we not do a back and forth here?
I'll do the last one.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, right. The film with the least.
Yep.
to say about this is what happened. So Surge is a film starring Ben Whishaw. For those who don't know, Ben Whishaw plays Q in basically from Skyfall onwards.
Yep.
He plays Q in the Bond films, and he's the voice of Paddington.
Yes.
He is a man whose presence is like a reassuring hug. He's a very soft...
See what you're doing.
Very, very lovable, very likeable. Ben Whishaw. I feel so safe in your presence.
Okay.
This film, he is not a reassuring hug.
He's not.
of a man. The film is like Ben Whishaw is a guy who's like he's not okay.
No, something's off.
Something's off with this guy, and he snaps. Mm-hmm. He's living this life where it's not great. He doesn't seem to be enjoying himself.
He's a single young man living on his own, doing kind of a menial job.
Yeah, he works in airport security, but like it's not exciting. It's not like it's not like gunfights and car chases. It's just stand over there.
Are there many airport security people that have gunfights?
Well, no, like I don't know. I don't know, but like
Nigeria maybe, not fucking Western world.
Airport security is not like that. But like I feel like it's one of those jobs where you go, oh, I work in airport security. People go, ooh.
Yeah, there could be a thrill to
it. It's like, ooh,
yeah.
Airport security, that's exotic. It's like, no, this is not an exotic job.
No.
He tells people to stand there and he pats them down.
Yeah.
And some of them can't understand him because obviously people fly in and out all over the place. So yeah, there's like a scene where a guy clearly can't speak English and they're having to do a strip search. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, please don't. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. It's like, oh God. And there's like a guy outside of his apartment who's like constantly revving his quad bike.
For no fucking reason.
He's just a dick.
Yeah.
He's just doing it because he's got a quad bike and he wants people to know about it.
Yeah.
His father, Ben Wishaw's father, clearly doesn't like him.
No.
They have a very frictus. What's the word?
Fractious.
They have a very fractious relationship. His mother also is probably not okay.
Yeah, there's a history.
Yeah.
An unspoken history of like, this family's not...
Yeah.
There's something off. Yeah.
And the culmination of all of this, or through all of this, there reaches a point where Ben Whishaw just snaps out of it.
Yes.
He's like, I'm not going to be this anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be...
I'm going to become a stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. This doesn't sound like a plot.
There's not much in the way of plot.
That's the thing. It's not one of those films. I think like the comparison you gave to me was actually very apt. If anyone has seen a Safdie Brothers film, specifically Good Time or Uncut Gems, it's very much like that. Mm-hmm. It's about these like people who like do a thing and that triggers this downward spiral of consequence.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good idea. And like a Safdie Brothers film, it's incredibly naturalistic in its presentation. It is just handheld camera, start to finish.
Yeah,
and you are in the scene with them. Like there's scenes where there's not much cutting going on. Like he'll walk in and out of a building, and then you're just following him walking down the road. It's one of those films, you know?
Yeah, it's very dynamic.
Yeah,
and accelerated and steroidal. Point. Yeah. Well. The film is the performance, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a mesmerising performance.
Yes.
It's a fantastic performance.
In part because of the contradiction that is Ben Whishaw being this, like, very unpleasant... His company is very unpleasant.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I'm not trained... I'm not used to feeling these feelings about Ben Whishaw, you know?
Yeah.
He's a nice man. Why are you making him not a nice man?
Yeah.
But even beyond that, he's got such a compelling energy to him.
He does. I mean, I don't want to play this card, really, but for someone who's had his own mental health struggles, not in the same way, obviously, but it captures something real. And that real thing is the fear that you're one day going to lose your mind. And this is what that film captures. What if one day I just fucking snapped?
Yeah.
I think in that sense, it's equally kind of tightly wound and cathartic because he's behaving without inhibition, like stream of consciousness, giving into every whim and impulse.
Which I think is in part... why it's such a compelling performance and why his energy is so compelling, because he does just like there's that scene where he's on a train or a bus and there's a woman who's wearing like a fur coat and there's like a girl with her mother and the girl is trying to pat the fur coat because it's soft fur coat and the mother's like, no, don't do that. And then the woman stands like in front of Ben Whishaw and he starts like doing what the girl is doing for the because the girl is looking at him, so he's like, oh look, I'm gonna touch the coat. But then he starts like nestling his face in the coat. It's almost like he's going to like grab it off her and then he starts like swinging on the bars. It's like, okay, this guy is just...
He's indulging absolutely whatever occurs to him.
Yeah.
It's like the things that occur to everybody. You look like, oh, I really like to touch that hair or like just fucking jump off that thing or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That thing of like when you walk over a bridge and you go, I could just throw my phone into the water.
Yeah.
He just does those things.
He's that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was all tightly scripted, that would be incredibly impressive. But it's the kind of film you can imagine the director saying, right, you just have no restraint.
Yeah.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, practically, you're going to walk from here to here.
Yeah.
In between, you do whatever comes to you.
Take away all the filters that govern appropriate behavior in public.
Yeah.
Don't even think about that.
Yeah, just clench your fists, randomly scream, do a little twirl, whatever comes naturally, yeah.
I'm not saying it's not just the plot that's very impulsive, but behaviorally, like we said, it's tics and mannerisms. It's what you do. It reminded me, in a way, when you're hammered, stoned, or tripping, and alone.
Oh, right.
It's like, I don't have to put up the pretense now in front of people of looking like I'm down to earth.
Okay.
When you're in the bathroom mirror, you're just fucking making faces.
Yeah, pulling your face
and just
open.
making sounds and stuff. Bizarre contortions. And I love that biting the glass is the catalyst for all that. Basically, there's this thing where he just bites too hard on glasses when he's having a drink.
Yeah, and cutlery and
cutlery, he's just, like something trying to get out. And then he kind of breaks a glass in his mouth, and his gums are bleeding.
Yeah.
And that's what sort of triggers the spiral. One could cynically write it off as overacting, and some people have.
Yes, I was going to say, people have done
People
that.
have done that. But to me, it was honestly relatably natural. Not like, oh yeah, that's what I'm like. But like, I totally get that. It's like watching Fear and Loathing on acid. It makes total sense to me, that.
Yes.
Almost like a heightened naturalism. Not hypernaturalism, but it's heightened. You acting out how you would naturally behave if you weren't a socialized animal. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
Yeah. It's watching an animal do what it does. It's unconcerned with how it looks, you know. It also reminded me of Falling Down. Are you familiar with Falling Down? Michael Douglas and...
Oh, what's his name? Don't tell me.
I won't.
Please tell me.
Well, yeah, it might have been a bit boring for the... Robert Duvall, is that...
Yeah, Robert Duvall, yeah.
Yeah, but a guy gets stuck in traffic. The Foo Fighters did Walk video based on it, who just kind of goes off on a rampage. But I thought this was more like falling across. That would be good. Like a stone skimming across water endlessly. That was the kind of energy of this film.
Okay.
It's constantly moving on to the next thing. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And it's a purer Uncut Gems to me. Because it doesn't bother itself with all those plot machinations and...
Yeah, it doesn't bother itself with the plot. Does it have... a score? I think it has a score.
If it does, I can't remember it, which means it's a good score in a sense for the kind of film it is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You know it doesn't... Because Uncut Gems, that was one of my major criticisms, was the first 10, 15 minutes, the score is like intrusive.
Yeah.
And it's loud. You can't hear the dialogue over the score in some places.
And it's unsuitable. And it's two different things,
Yeah, exactly. Whereas here, no. If there is music, it enhances without overpowering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The main comparison point for me was Taxi Driver. Did you think this?
Why did you think this?
I thought this, even though they're very different in style, and approach, both are obviously about men losing their minds.
Yeah.
And each film has these little signposts or benchmarks that chart the descent into insanity. So in Taxi Driver, you've got Travis gradually severing all ties to reality, and that kind of culminates in him absentmindedly kicking over the TV.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why did I do that? Like, he doesn't even realise it. In Surge, it's more kind of a visceral and experiential film, but you get those little things in the beginning like, it's going to crack, something's going to crack. And I love that Michael McIntyre's stand-up is one of the triggers. It's just him watching it just like, oh, this man's going to fucking shoot up an office. I love that. Because, yes, I can see how Michael McIntyre stand-up would drive you.
I think Michael McIntyre was the first stand-up gig I ever went to.
Was it?
Yeah. No, there was a time where he was my favourite stand-up.
He's your favourite stand-up when you're a teenager, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like before you get into comedy properly.
Before you realise, oh yeah, there are actually funny people over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, I don't think I've only been to 4. Michael McIntyre was the first, and then it was Dara Breen.
Yeah.
Who, like, after I fell out of favour with Michael McIntyre, I still liked Dara Breen for a while, but then I think I saw some of his recent stand-up. There's like a bit where he's on about how ridiculous it is that men are attracted to women in stockings.
Right.
He was like, oh, why would...
Oh, that's reaching.
Yeah, it's like, why would I be... I am only attracted to a woman if it looks like she's been partially dipped in ink.
That's like...
What?
Yeah, that's like hack stand-up 101. Like, there are Dara Breen bits that I like. Where he's talking about being alone in his house and all the options available to him.
Yes.
He can watch DVDs, he's got books he hasn't read, and he ends up watching the last half hour of Robocop.
Yeah.
Because it's sheer option paralysis, basically. I like that, and... It reminds me of, like, specific observations like that can have a comedic value. Like there's that Paul Foot bit about Shire horses. It's like when you only ever see a Shire horse on a fate. And it's like such a specific observation. It becomes absurd and he just keeps rolling with it. And that's what makes it funny. But that is just like, you ever noticed how like a pancake is like a flat cake? Right.
That you cook in a pan?
You cook in a pan. It's just,
Dude, what if we called it the thing that it is and the mechanism in which we make it?
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah.
He's been doing it too long sort of thing and he's not fresh.
Yeah.
But he's okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what it was like. Okay, but that's not like an absurd...
Dipped in ink.
It's not an absurd fetish, right?
When he says
lingerie.
It doesn't even resonate. When, like, saying dipped in ink. Because sometimes comedians will say something and you'll go, yes! Like the Dylan Moran thing about St. Bernard is the dog that would swill brandy and watch you die.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I never would have thought of that, but that makes total sense to me.
No.
This doesn't. I don't get anything from that.
Exactly.
I guess.
But I was going to say, like, Dylan Moran, I think, was the third stand-up gig I ever went to, and Stuart Lee was the fourth. And I like that I've only
those two we went to together.
Yeah, and I like that. No disrespect to my parents, because I was younger, I was into different comedy.
Yeah, of course.
But I like that there's a clear division. Like the first two, I don't like anymore, and then the second two, I'm still with
Moran and Lee. Yeah.
But Moran, like that's one of the things I like about him is sort of the absurdity of like I never would have phrased it like that, or constructed that observation that way.
Yeah.
And it's absurd in the way that your delivery and the things you're saying are absurd, but I get it.
Yeah,
there's that
tonally rational.
Yeah, tonally rational, even if the specific words are absurd. Like there's that. We watched one of his stand-ups recently. Yeah. Was it a different recording of the one that we actually went to see?
Same set, but different, like different night.
Different night. Yeah. When he's talking about going to like a cafe in London and it's full of like alternative hipsters.
Yes,
it's like what does he say? It's like. You sit down and you overhear conversations like, yeah, Dylan, we should do that. We should crowdfund a ukulele patio.
Yes. But, yeah, all right.
Like, that's ridiculous, but I know exactly the type of person he's talking about.
There's it's a similar kind of, he's satirizing the same kind of thing, but it's a different show. He's talking about like, the little restaurants that do pizza on stilts. And, like
those
wankers.
Those Japanese houses that are upside down. It's like, it's bizarre, but I get it.
Yeah.
Why was that? Oh, yeah, Michael McIntyre.
Yeah.
He doesn't push the TV over, but he's clearly not pleased with Michael McIntyre.
Indeed. So one critic said the film was akin to being trapped in a subway car with a mental patient. This was a negative review, incidentally.
Okay.
I just go, yeah, absolutely.
What should the film have been?
Exactly. Yeah. And another said that it could be written off as Wishall's rejected audition tape for Joker. That's like, if only we had got that Joker film. Because when Joker was released, we speculated upon which director would be ideal for it if the studio had the balls to be adventurous.
Yes.
Right? So we're saying like David Lynch, that sort of thing. Surge could be a Joker origin movie.
Oh, okay.
It could be a Joker origin movie, and it would be a superior one to the one that we got. There's very little context to the character. He's obviously mentally ill.
Yeah.
There's a bank robbery component even.
Oh, yeah.
And while there is that unspoken history of malady, he's driven to the edge by banality. It's just everyday humdrum life. I can't do it anymore. It's the whole Killing Joke thing. I think if at the end of this film, at the end of Split, it turned out to be an Unbreakable sequel.
Yes.
Turns out like, and then, I don't know, he picks up a Joker card. He's like, was I fucking watching a Joker origin film the whole time? That'd been great.
Yeah, that's not... Yeah. Do you know, what was the point we were making earlier about specificity can lead to broad appeal?
Yeah, like the more specific, the more universal.
Yeah, like Ben Wishaw's character in this, he's a very specific character.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were talking yourself about the catharsis in his behavior, and you could relate to, even though it's a very specific guy that's being depicted.
Yeah.
The idea of like one day you could just lose your fucking mind. That's a very relatable fear that the film is sort of tapping into and realizing.
I think you said to me, didn't you? You liked the... It's not kind of just chaotic chaos. Like when there's a scene where he destroys a bed and strips it apart, and... That was
one of my favourite scenes in the film. He's... Right, so yeah, he robs a couple of banks.
For the fuck of it, basically.
Well,
see if he can get away with it.
Through frustration. Because,
initially,
because he goes to buy a cable, but he has to pay cash, so he goes to get money out from cash machine, swallows his card, so he goes to the bank, and they're like, oh, you need identification. He doesn't have the right identification. It's like, oh, you have to do online banking. He's like, oh, can I use your computer? She's like, no, you got to do it from home.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I have been there.
So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to rob a bank.
Exactly.
And actually, that's one of the things I like about the character is the characters like this as well. Like, you can't, like, endorse them.
Yes.
Their behavior is reprehensible.
Right.
But somewhere in there, they've got a point.
Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
That whole thing about, evil aspects to that character, but I just keep coming back to that Happy Wanderer thing. The guy walking along the street whistling, and you just want to grab him and fucking punch him in the face. Yeah, I get Tony Soprano.
Yeah, like, where he's coming from. And like Ben Whishaw in this, like, he robs a couple of banks.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't endorse that behavior, but
you go, Ben Whishaw.
But you go, Ben Whishaw, yeah.
Yeah.
And after he's robbed a couple of banks, he goes to a hotel. He's like, I want to stay here for the night. And he goes into his hotel room, and he completely trashes the place.
But very methodically.
This is the thing. You would expect a scene like that to play out, like, The Room is a terrible example. But it's aiming for that kind of scene, isn't it? Where he just trashes out of sheer, like, oh my God. Like, he's just letting energy out. Yeah. And he's, like, throwing stuff off the mantelpiece.
Or like Forrest Whitaker on The Shield.
And like just flipping the table and, like, tearing up the furniture. Yeah. No, he's just... Ben Whishaw, he's just, like, he gets this, like, knife and he just, like, starts slowly cutting into the mattress. Yeah. And he just takes the springs out one by one and he climbs inside the mattress and, like... like the fact that his body is in there, it's slowly pulling apart the fabric. And then he grabs the curtain, but he just kind of pulls it off one rung at a time.
It's like he's enacting an internal narrative.
It's weird, like the fact that he's controlling himself while doing this very chaotic activity, it comes across as more crazy than if he was just manically tearing apart the room.
It's like obsessive compulsive, isn't it? It's that... I showed you Horace and Pete. A couple of episodes.
Yeah, a couple of episodes,
you saw the one where the kid, he gets up and he just fills glasses of water.
Oh, yeah.
Very methodically. It's always... It's always the same kind of motion. Yeah, the fact that it's not insane makes it more insane. Yeah. Yeah. But that was a good point. A good observation that it's not truly chaotic. It's like he's following a tramline. Like, right, I now have to do this, and then this, and this. Yeah. No, very good.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, he's just given into energy. Like, just there's no thought there. No, there is thought there.
Literally,
that's what's scary about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else?
I feel like there was a point that I was making. Oh no, I think I was leading up to. Like I said, he robs the banks, and that was leading up to the hotel scene.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that scene where he goes into the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and the groom, the best man is humiliating the groom.
Yeah,
and Ben Wishaw's just there eating bread. And then he goes up to the best man, and the best man's obviously trying to intimidate him. He's like, "Oh, you fuck off, mate! Get out of this wedding. It's not for you." And Ben Whishaw just like grabs him and says something to him. We don't know what.
Yeah, he whispers.
Yeah, whispers something, and the best man just like calms down.
Yeah,
he's just like, "Right, I'm not gonna." Oh, let's just do the toast now. I'm not going to keep humiliating the groom anymore.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because in a way, it's almost vindicating the relatability of him. I say, there's a catharsis in his behaviour. It's almost as if that character has a direct line to the secrets of the universe.
Yeah.
And he's enacting it. He knows what he should be doing. And he just has the right thing to say to this guy.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's an envoy of something.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get... The film is not dense at all. It's not like all these big ideas. This is just what you take from it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a very, very basic film in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's like he's tapped into something primal or primordial.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not primal, because again, primal is like animalistic.
There is that as well, is the thing.
But he's not an animal. Well, he's too cogent to be an animal.
He's a sophisticated animal. He's an animal with a secret of the universe.
Right.
He's between what's the Papa Roach song? Between angels and insects.
Okay.
Man. But
right.
But not quite.
Man, but sort of.
Man, but sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like, he has this kind of earthy wisdom in what he's doing.
Yeah.
But again, obviously this is a fairly pretentious interpretation of what's going on, but it's the kind of vibe that you get from the film. And the film is not kind of trading in these lofty ideas.
No. Yeah, what we are saying is not necessarily within the text.
No, not at all.
It could just be a case of because he's just robbed a couple of banks and he's just trashed his hotel room. You're, as the audience, you're sort of in a position where you're going like, right, I'm growing distant from this character because he's not done anything good for a while now.
Yes.
So the fact that he like mediates that thing at the wedding, it could just be as simple as like, just because he's gone off the deep end, he's not evil.
Right.
He's not just doing bad things anymore. He can like, he's just doing whatever.
Yeah.
He's not specifically choosing to do evil things. Like he just did a good thing now.
Yeah.
It was all whim, but he did a good thing. Like
Yeah.
that's the trajectory of the character.
Yeah, he's not malevolent, he's just real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the surprise of the year for me.
Oh, absolutely. Because this is something that I don't think I would have even encountered.
I didn't know about it until the week it came out.
Yeah.
One of those films. Reception has been overall positive, but comparatively lukewarm. Like, you're talking like 70%-ish.
Right, okay.
And I just think, I don't know, I kind of loved it.
I think, yeah, it's maybe it's too grimy
Maybe.
for like a critical awards darling.
Oh, yeah.
Awards certainly, but just being like a critical darling.
Yeah,
It's too, it doesn't have the, like, Another Round is real, but in a different way.
Yeah, well,
That's the sort of real that, like, that's like a clean reel.
Well, it has a thesis, Another Round.
Yeah.
This film doesn't have a thesis, it has an experience. Right?
Yeah.
And it has no frills, and it's all inference. So yeah, it's not the type of a film that's going to get awards, though the performance should.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's like the hidden gem of the year. This is the one. If I'm going to people like, what film should I watch from 2021? Surge.
Yeah.
You've never heard of it, go watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I will say, though, if
Yeah.
you're prone to motion sickness, be careful.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we say handheld camera, we mean handheld camera.
Yes.
I think it's after he robs the first bank, that camera really starts swinging around.
It does.
You can't really make out... You can see him in the frame.
Yeah, you're kind of running behind him, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's really swinging around.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be careful. Like it's not unwatchable by any
No, but
stretch
it's
of the
very,
imagination.
very frenetic. Yeah.
It is very frenetic. And one other thing I will say, because I don't want to spoil the ending.
No.
I we've talked a lot about the film. We've probably said, like, it's one of those films. It's like a fun film to talk about because it's like, again, it's very specific in what it's showing, but the conversation around it can be quite broad because of that specificity.
It's whatever you take from it.
Yeah,
You could watch it and think we are totally off the mark.
Yeah, like what we were just saying about, he's a wise animal. He's tapped into the wisdom of the universe. Like, that's probably not in the film, but that's what we took from it.
That's what we took from it, yeah.
And like, so, yeah, I don't want to... I probably said more than I want to, but it's fun to talk about. So that's why we said what we've said.
Yes.
But in terms of the ending, because we started out with the Safdie brother comparison, those films don't end well for the characters involved.
No.
All I'll say is I like the way this film ended.
I agree.
I feel like it was a good ending for kind of everyone.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that was nice. Because again, like the griminess and the frenetic energy of the film, all the way through, you're like, this can't end well.
That and Another Round. They've been tricked into being pessimistic. And
Yeah.
We recommend Surge.
Oh, we absolutely recommend Surge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about aliens.
Hang on, what?
Let's talk about aliens.
What is this podcast, Sam? What have you been doing in my absence?
Let's talk about aliens. So,
okay.
people might have heard about this. I don't really know how kind of prevalent it is.
Right.
If you're into it, very. But so Joe Rogan is obsessed with aliens. So I periodically see purported UFO videos.
Right. Does he show them?
Instagram usually.
Okay.
And then he did that interview with Bob Lazar, which we talked about a few months ago, whatever. About who might have.
Oh
many
yeah,
doubts.
no, this has come up before, right?
It has come up before.
There were videos
that the Navy said were real. They verified the.
Yeah. No, there was I didn't realize that I knew what you were talking about at the time. I hope it's going to be embarrassing if one were to go back to that conversation. And I'd be like, oh, I'm bringing up this thing I brought up before.
Okay.
But yeah, there was this video from Lamino. It was like a YouTuber I watched. He's very, very good. He's sort of like a video essayist / documentarian.
Okay.
Documentarian.
Is he conservative?
Is that important to you?
No, because then he could be a documentarian.
Oh, right. I see what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, we're going to have to start thinking of Tory puns to sprinkle into the rest of this podcast.
Documentarian.
Yes, he's a documentarian.
Yes.
But he talks about like Yeah, it's kind of like mainly true crime stuff, but also kind of like conspiracies and stuff within that field. So he's done a video on the vanishing of flight M370.
Okay.
I think it's called Malaysian Airlines 370.
Yeah. Okay.
Highly recommended. It's a fantastic video. One of my favorite videos on YouTube because it's so. This is rich coming from us doing the podcast with the episode lengths that we do, but it's so pithy and dense with information. I think it's like half an hour long, and for me, it is the definitive resource.
It's very procedural.
Yes, absolutely. He's very good at that, and he's done a video on the UFO videos that I think you are referring to.
Okay,
because he said in that video that one of them, I think it was the one. There's like 3. There's one where like. The camera that's capturing it is obviously on a jet, and it's like banking, and the UFO is flying against the wind.
Yes, and kind of moving around.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that one or whether it's the one where it's like just there's like a white dot in the middle of the screen, and they try to zoom in on it, and all of a sudden it just kind of shoots off to the left.
And then they follow it. They
try to follow it, but it just disappears. Yeah. I think it might be that one.
Okay.
That showed up on like a conspiracy blog in like 2013, maybe. Okay. But it was written off as a hoax. Not only because there was no legitimate documentation to go with it, but I think the website was owned by a couple of film students.
Okay.
So people were just like, this is not real, this is stupid. But no, it turns out that is actually real.
Yeah.
And there was apparently, it might be the video of the UFO banking. There was a version, there were 4 versions of that video apparently, and one of them was twice the length and had more audio, and it was the evidence was more compelling.
Okay.
But... because I think that the fighter jet that captured that served on the USS Nimitz, or one of like the USS aircraft carriers in the fleet, and these like unidentifiable government agents turned up and just erased all the footage.
Okay,
they took some of the footage and they just erased everything.
Men in Black.
Yes, which is why those like more elaborate videos have never seen the light of day. And like part of his video is basically like, what we're seeing in the videos is like unexplainable. But if these videos are real, then like, wow.
Yeah.
Basically, you know?
Yeah. Well... and
the accounts that go with them as well. I think the first video, like the account of the fighter pilots who were actually there is that they went down to look at that craft. And it was basically this like giant, what looked like a Tic Tac.
Right.
And it was moving vertically and horizontally across the ocean floor in a way that no craft could feasibly move.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of the defining thing of these crafts seem to be that they just move in a way, any direction they want to in air or sea, basically.
Yeah.
With no respect for air current.
And there was no, like, because it was shaped like a Tic Tac as well, there was no visible mean of propulsion. Right. And yet it was able to ascend and move at like sonic boom speeds without any... seemingly without any effort.
Right. Okay, so there was all that stuff with Bob Lazar, and then it died down a bit. And then Joe Rogan was posting more and more videos, and then I saw Sam Harris on Lex Friedman's podcast. I'd recommend Lex Friedman.
Of Lex Friedman.
Oh, he's Russian. Young guy. I don't know if we've ever watched him or anything.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
I just assumed he was a person.
But he's good. He talked to Eric Weinstein a lot. I recommend...
okay.
We probably watched that, actually. They talk about Leonard Cohen. Anyway.
Okay.
And on that podcast, Sam Harris said to him, it sounds like the Office of Naval Intelligence and the Pentagon are very likely to say to Congress at some point in the not-too-distant future that we have evidence there is technology flying around here that's not of human origin.
Okay.
So there's that. The Washington Post did a story on it. New Yorker did a story on it. Basically claims that the government knows more about this stuff than they're letting on.
Okay.
Right? So this stuff has been bubbling up recently. And I'll be honest, my bias is I want it to be true.
You want there to be aliens?
I do want there to be aliens. Okay. I want UFOs.
Do you mind explaining yourself, Samuel?
Well, benevolent aliens.
Yes.
But who doesn't fucking want there to be aliens? You don't want it to be aliens?
It's the fear that they're not benevolent. Though.
No, I know
That's why nobody wants aliens.
No, but I do. I want the aliens.
Okay.
So I was reading up on a lot of this stuff on like accounts of UFO, abductions and that sort of thing. My mind was getting blown, like, oh my God, all this stuff. Like I said, that is my bias. And the fact that Sam Harris was talking about it is what lent it like, oh, right, this is real.
Yeah, not the type of person to indulge conspiracies without like laying out that this
Absolutely.
is,
Basically, he said that he was getting these messages, murmurings from people saying, listen, the other shoe's about to drop regarding aliens. It's about to become a big part of the conversation. You're a thought leader. I'm telling you now so that you can help shape the public perception, right? That kind of thing. And then yesterday, as we were recording, he released an episode of his podcast called Are We Alone in the Universe with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he told him that he'd been told to kind of prepare his mind for that sort of thing. And he found himself realising that it wouldn't affect him that much.
Right, okay.
And then I was hoovering as I was listening to this. And I kind of thought...
And the hoover went off. I sat down.
And I just thought, yeah. Because I went through that period of like really reading up about aliens and really like... The day I was reading about them mainly, I was listening at the time to a lot of Kermode playlists.
Okay.
And I was like... And there was one that's like 700 videos in it. So I'm just going to pick a number and click on the number. And it was like 344. And the film was The Man Who Fell to Earth. It was like, right, it's all locking in. It's all confirmation bias. But then I just thought, yeah, if I found out on the news today they're aliens, it would be amazing for like an hour. And then you go, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Okay, maybe longer than an hour.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You do realise, yeah, how would it affect my life?
Well, it's all anyone would talk about forever, right?
Right, and that would make it mundane to begin with. But he said, like... He was mindful that it would be the most significant event in human history. The biggest news ever.
Yeah.
Like, without equal. And also kind of humdrum.
Right.
And his diagnosis for that was our truncated attention spans. It's like, you say, yeah, all right, move on, whatever. And there is something...
I feel like We Are Not Alone in the Universe would capture even the most deficited individual's attention.
Do you know what? I really don't know. I honestly really don't know. I think social media does render us more readily bored. That's obvious. But yeah, I don't think like people would think nothing of it. But I was hoovering and thinking, now the luster of the novelty has passed. Yeah, it's kind of there.
Yeah, for you, but you've like... this will be pretty novel for most people, right?
Yeah, but they'll go through that same process though, right?
I mean,
basically Tyson, his rejoinder was... Because he's been asked a lot about all this alien stuff lately, and he's content to say he doesn't know. He's not going to speculate. He's happy just not knowing.
Okay.
And he said, like, unless we thought they posed a real threat, it would basically be of no consequence to people. I don't know. I feel like even though there's undeniably nothing more major, that's accurate. And I don't quite know why.
I really don't know.
He put it in... This is the context he put it in, right? He said that we thought we were the centre of the universe. And then Copernicus proved that the sun was the centre of the galaxy and there were loads of other planets orbiting the sun. And it didn't destroy the world, it didn't implode the world.
Yeah.
Which for the time would have been the equivalent discovery, almost. And then it was contextualised by the discovery of microorganisms. That we just thought, viruses, it's plague and it's the godly, whatever. And then a guy... put some pond water under his microscope and saw millions of these things. Apparently he wrote a letter to the Royal Institute of Science or whatever in Royal Observatory in London. And they sent a letter back saying, sir, basically, please drink less gin before you send us your papers.
Okay.
But they went there and they investigated and obviously he was vindicated. But it's right, like all of a sudden there are billions of things around us. And yes, okay, aliens, there's a cinematic aspect to it, whatever. But if you put it in that context, in that timeline, and you found out, oh yeah, you're not the only species in the universe, it really shouldn't be that surprising. It'd be the next thing, like, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Because that's the next thing, isn't it? That we found out what was smaller.
Yeah, well, here's a couple of things.
Yeah.
So, finding out that we're not the centre of the universe, when roughly was that discovered?
I honestly don't know.
Well, Copernicus, when was Copernicus?
Last thing I couldn't tell you.
Just give me a vague,
Completely, all right, 1600s.
No, don't make something up. But
I don't know.
Was he like ancient Greek? Was he...
Oh, right.
What was he?
Like 1500, around that.
Right.
It's the 14, 15, 1600s.
Right, okay. At the time in which Copernicus made that discovery, yes, okay, that's quite okay, that's not what I thought things were.
Yes.
That's quite, a big thing you've told me, Copernicus.
Yes, it's the 14, 1500s.
14, 1500s, okay. That's quite a way off, isn't it? The 14, 1500s?
Don't be pedantic.
But yeah, I feel like culturally, we're pretty fragile at the moment.
What do you mean fragile?
Well, just like the amount of like the dissent that you're seeing in the news so often. Just like, you know, the America for a while has seemed like it's on the fringes of civil war between the white and black, and you've got political divisions are becoming, you know, deeper and deeper, and people are, what was it called? The social dilemma, showing that like the social, you know, where all of our attention is now being focused in on social media. That's what's got our attention the most. And we're not even seeing the same stuff anymore.
Right.
People are exposed to different sources, and through trying to connect ourselves, we've actually, parts of our society are growing further and further apart.
Calculated ignorance.
Yes. Yeah. And there's also a lot more of us than there were back then. And we've also got more to lose, I guess, culturally. Like the amount of advancements we've made, certainly within the last century, but since the 1400s. I don't know, I feel like we are not alone in the universe. That would be more devastating news to society, to people.
Here's the thing. I'm out on a limb when I say I don't think it would be that bigger. I'm the one with the burden of proof, but the proof will be in the pudding, obviously, if it ever does pass.
Yeah.
I just have an instinct that for a while, maybe, however that manifests. But that's kind of the point. What can manifest? People tweeting and like, what are you going to do?
I can see that. I can see aliens becoming small talk.
Aliens become small talk.
You go to the hairdressers, they ask you about the weather, they ask you about your job, they ask you about the aliens.
Right.
In the same way the coronavirus has become small talk.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that.
Basically.
But I don't think it's only going to become that. I think another point to be made as well, like the fact, like Copernicus finding out that we were at the center of the universe. There may well have been people prior to him, or indeed around at the same time as him, that thought that, or like indulged in that idea. But it was probably a revelation for most people, right?
Yes.
Does that feel like a fair thing to say?
What, that we're not the center of the universe?
Yeah, the being told you're not the center of the universe is like a new idea. It's a new concept.
Yeah, it disproved the existing hypothesis.
Yeah. Similar thing with the discovery of microorganisms. It's like, holy shit, there are billions of creepy crawlies and creatures in this room alone.
Right.
Like that's a whole new thing that I have to comprehend.
Yes.
The existence of aliens is something that humanity's been indulging in for a while, in a fictitious context.
Yeah.
But like we've like dreamed up every permutation of alien, right? And every form of relationship that we could have with those aliens, whether they be benevolent or whether they be evil or whatever. We've already been there.
Yeah.
That idea is with everyone. What if there are aliens? So to discover that they're aliens, we're going to have... in fairness, I don't know in what direction it would go. I don't know whether because we've indulged in it in a fictitious context for so long, it would lessen the impact, or whether it would greatly increase the impact. Because it's like, right, this one's not a drill. This is happening now.
Yeah, I'll concede again. Without equal, it would be the most significant event in human history.
Yeah.
Bigger than the things I mentioned.
You got to think as well about the like the mere existence of aliens. Like, yes, like president going, guess what, guys? There are really aliens. You're never going to see them because they're over there.
Yeah.
Well, so even though you know there are aliens, you'll probably never encounter an alien in your life. There's nothing you as people can do about it.
Yes.
But we're going to live in a world where probably every government on the planet is going to try and be the first one to get a craft up to the aliens, and there's going to be a whole new space, and you're probably going to have like China or Russia or whatever be like, we're going to get to the aliens first, and we're going to get them to come onto our side.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's this apprehension that if there are aliens, all of a sudden it's Earthlings and aliens.
Yeah.
No. You think we're going to agree with Russia and China on
we managed it in Watchmen.
Yeah.
Where the giant space squid united everyone and ended the Cold War. But I don't think in 2021
absolutely not.
The world is going to unite under the promise of aliens.
Well, some people just won't believe it.
It's going to fracture under the promise of aliens.
Even if the evidence was overwhelming, a lot of people just wouldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah, you've got flat earthers and anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
They're going to have people.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Well, also, interestingly, I don't know who will be in terms of the right or the left or just the common man. I don't know who is going to be more susceptible to being an alien denier.
everyone likes aliens. I don't think it would be like the left a pro, the right the right would be more cautious, I think. But
well, I mean, like, yeah, like if there are the existence of aliens, what does that do to the argument about religion?
I don't think it changes all that.
Yeah,
that it kind of, it's the same people who are anti-vaxxers and just conspiracy nuts.
Yeah,
it's people in denial. People just be in denial, like, no, I cannot integrate that fact into my life.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Yeah, aliens occupy the space of fictals, right? It's like dragons or whatever. It's like waking up from a dream and all of a sudden it turns out it wasn't one.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, dragons, there are dragons.
Yeah.
There are actually... Right, so there's that mind-blowing aspect to it. But you've got a hedonic treadmill that we get used to good things really easily. I think there's also a context treadmill. I think there's that moment of, oh my fucking god. And then we live in a universe where there are aliens. All right, that's existence now. I'm not saying it's going to happen like that.
No,
but I do think there is that treadmill.
And I do think,
what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and I do think now that it's came up in the conversation, we can't deny, like, how many people in the world, think of all religions, how many people in the world are religious?
Yeah.
How many people are going to have their entire being just like called into question?
I don't think as profoundly as a lot of people think, because religions have had to endure a lot of scientific innovation.
Yes, but
it will survive aliens as well.
But you could feasibly, whether you're right to do so or not, you could just go, well, the universe didn't just randomly explode into being, did it, you fool? Right. God created it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's an alien, like right there,
yeah,
okay.
Well, God did that as well.
Oh, did he now?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've conceded to the Big Bang and to, not intelligence.
Some have, not all.
No, well, the Catholic Church has.
Yeah,
I mean,
but not all of them.
No, not every individual. But what I'm saying is, if you believe in God, despite not despite the evidence, with lack of evidence, without the evidence, I don't know why aliens would all of a sudden shatter your world. Because, oh, right, yeah, more of his creations.
Okay,
it's all part of a plan. It's all you just widen the scope. That's what people do. It's what the God of the gaps. It's what people have done for all of human history. God is in those places that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And if it's like, we are the only life. God created us. Humans are distinct in the... Oh, there's other life. Okay, well, it's not that then. Right, he created all of it then. There are loads of species.
But they all created in his image?
They'll all... Well, no, exactly. That bit would change.
Yeah.
In his image would become metaphorical, as a lot of these things do.
Right.
Meaning, like, with his...
Because it's not even as if, like,
spark.
we're the special ones. Yeah. Because here's a more advanced... They were able to travel across galaxies to come and meet us.
Yeah, if anything's here, it is more advanced than us.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, that's sort of... A long-held fear of most people. Like, if you're going to entertain the possibility of aliens being real, you have to entertain the possibility that they don't want us to stay here. They don't like us. They're not kind. It's a fear. I'm not saying...
Oh, it's a natural fear. I'd be fucking terrified.
Absolutely.
But equally enthralled. And I want it to happen. I genuinely do. It's like, it's what's next.
Yeah.
What show is it in, or film or whatever, where they're talking about, like, why would you go to Mars? It's like, because it's what's next.
I don't know what it's
It might be the West Wing or something.
Yeah.
Like, because they find water on Mars. That's what's next. That's what growth is about. That's what progress is about.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Just to,
No, but my point was going to be that is a legitimate fear that people do have when they indulge in the subject, and it's a fear I've had as well.
Yeah.
Like, like aliens, okay, cool.
But
what the fuck do we do if they want us dead?
Okay.
But
we're fucked.
We are fucked.
If I was walking through a field on my own and a UFO descended, I would be terrified beyond any terror I've ever experienced as I walked up to the ship. That would be my response to aliens.
Okay.
Oh my God, please abduct me. This is terrifying. Because why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? I get it, but I don't know. But I think I was listening to an expert. I was reading about it. Like, experts, insofar as there are alien experts, said that if they had the technology to come here, if they wanted us gone, they could exterminate the human race like that.
Yeah.
They're that advanced. But I think this is an interesting thing. Like, for a species to evolve to the point of interstellar travel, they've probably conquered war. They've probably transcended war.
But what happens when they encounter a species, us, who haven't conquered war?
Well, they'll know what it is. They'll know
what it is, but
like if anything, they would want to help.
But that's the question: would they tolerate it? And if they would
tolerate it, to what extent?
That they're willing to like sit us down and go, right, let's not have the war thing anymore.
Yeah, because
here's what we're going to do to help you not have war.
Yeah,
and if they do, like, who do they side with?
I just don't know. Like, they wouldn't have any vested interest in getting rid of us. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they were coming here, it could only be for the good. I think, anyway. It's just...
Unless they want our water or our women or whatever.
But they got here. Like, why would they need our water?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing I was going to say was, like, yeah, like that is a real fear. But a fear that I hear brought up less, which I think is equally as terrifying,
right,
is what happens to... It's sort of referring back to the thing about governments are going to try and it's going to become a new arms race almost. Like, who can get to the aliens first and convince them that the other ones are the bad guys. Yeah, like, imagine living under a government that's frantically, like, at all costs, we must reach the aliens first. Like, it would start a war. Yeah. Maybe another Cold War rather than World War III, but it would start a war.
We'd destroy ourselves before we could ever make contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? Equally, because it's so mad in a way, it's just implausible to consider that one day we're going to get a message saying, right, we're here. This is how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
We'd like to interact with you. You know, we're aware of of how your world works. You're not a united species.
We don't understand you, frankly, but we've tried.
You know, what's with the feminism? What's going on there? But yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what's with this, like, this Donald Trump, Joe Biden? What's going on there?
Because people have said, like, why haven't they... It's a fallacy, but why haven't they made contact already? It's like, well, if you were going to an alien planet, don't you'd have to do a lot of fucking research to work out how and when you're going to make your... They need to understand it.
Like, if you're going to an alien planet where the way that they greet you is to snap your neck, you kind of need to know that shit in advance, right?
And like, so that's the instant stuff, and then the rest of it is, right, what's their physiology, and then what are the...
How do we communicate?
Yeah,
what do they want?
How do their minds work? How do nations work? How does wealth work?
Yeah, do we have anything to offer, or are we just dropping in and saying hello? Like,
right, there's so much. Yeah. And I don't want to sound like a child having this conversation with you, you know, because I'm aware that the more cynically minded people might go, oh, you believe in alien? I'm just open to the possibility of it. I don't see why it's not an impossibility, and I want it to be true. So yeah, that's my take on the aliens.
So sensible people seem to be saying there might be aliens.
Yeah.
And you think that we're only going to care about it for a little bit, and then it's not going to matter anymore.
Pretty much.
Okay. I disagree.
Okay.
I think it will matter greatly.
But for how long?
Even if the conversation around aliens dries up, it will matter greatly.
Oh yeah, of course. It's gonna. Yeah, I'm not talking about the ramifications on the future. I'm talking about purely the psychology of us.
Right.
Yeah. No. Of course, a lot changes after that. But I'm talking about people. I don't think people. I don't think they would be rioting or like religions ending. That wouldn't happen.
I don't know, Sam. They riot over a police officer doing their job. You don't know what's going to happen if, like, aliens were to be real all of a sudden. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? If they're, because that's what they'd think. Like, oh, if they were so intelligent, how come they're not intervening in systemic racism?
Yeah.
Let's move on before I get.
What was the thing? What was the thing that happened with COVID? Like, let's not, like, okay. But let's not forget the conversation we were having about, like, you know, Black Lives Matter and all that. Yeah. Like, let's not have the conversation about fucking aliens being real detract from the fact that I feel like I'm being oppressed.
Because there's literally nothing more unifying than there are aliens.
That was the conclusion of Watchmen.
Yeah,
like the existence of aliens unifies the world out of war.
Because at the minute, you know, everyone is an endless, infinite list of identities. It's men and women. As a nation, our context is our nationality. We think of ourselves as British, and then there's the Russians, and this is the only thing that can contextualize us as human, other than animals, but humans and animals. There's now Earthling and everything else.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like this galaxy and everything. You know, it's
That's a thought, yeah.
the neighborhood just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, certainly that, but also, like Earthling encapsulates human, cat,
Pig.
fish, pig.
Exactly, they must be fucking
Can you
confused.
imagine? Yeah, like the aliens just like, why is there so many of them? And why do they all look different? But also just like, we want you to send one of our own.
Yeah.
And they like get a human. It's like, no, we meant that pig.
That's the
we want a full representation of your planet. Send us a human, send us a pig, and send us like, I don't know, a fucking snail. I don't know.
Yeah, an anemone.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to suspect that the diversity on their planet would be equally as, you know.
Yeah, because that's like a sci-fi trope. One which I think more people are picking up on and sort of growing a bit. Like, I wish they didn't do that. But whenever they depict an alien planet, there's always one species that all look the same.
Right.
And it's always one biome. It's always a desert planet or a
it's like on Star Wars. There's no ecological diversity.
Yeah.
It's all just...
or indeed biological
diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all just... This is the desert planet. A fucking planet of desert.
Yeah.
A planet.
Yeah. How does shit live there?
Yeah. But the thing because obviously all the videos, the different types of crafts and different... Yeah, like when we say it's us and the aliens as though they're unified.
Yeah.
I like the idea that we've been visited by a whole different groups of aliens they are competing to talk to us.
Yeah. The conservative sect of the aliens have come to visit us while the liberal aliens are still warring.
But it's like, you got scientists competing with each other to like write the papers that prove this groundbreaking research. That's their version of it. It's not like literally who can get to them first.
Yeah.
But it's who can like do the work first that will lay the groundwork for us talking to them.
Yeah.
Who can get all the data in.
Or just the fact that, we are their space race.
Yeah.
All they want to do is just plant a flag and say, like, oh, this country from this planet got here first.
Right. Can you imagine how complicated it's going to be if they start sectarianizing?
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, this alien race is pro-Russia. This alien race...
Oh,
God, imagine that.
The things that this opens up.
God, imagine if they come here and they like the Middle East and Russia. Well, we're dead, aren't we? We're done for.
Not just that, but like, as you said, that's just like one version of the aliens.
I like the idea that, like, if you're on a, we're all on a kind of similar cosmic timeline, and certain behaviors will get us to certain points along that timeline. They come here, like, so which country is like doing it? Samoa. Who knew? for some reason, this is Papua New Guinea. Yeah. They're on the right path.
Fiji, fucking mad lads they are. They got it figured out.
It's like, do you ever see The Good Place?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's like about the afterlife and purgatory and stuff. And Ted Danson plays this archangel, and there's this character, this teenager that they kind of idolize there. They got his picture up on a wall like it's Derek something.
Right.
Because he's the only person that ever got it, the afterlife right.
All right.
Whoever supposed it correctly. When he was high, he's like, oh, it's this. And he got it spot on.
Right.
He's the only person ever to have got it precisely spot on. So they kind of revere him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
Little fun little hypothetical to round out this discussion.
Okay.
So I feel like this discussion was rounding out.
I think so.
Wasn't it? Yeah. What is the first piece of media that you would show to an alien?
Any piece of media.
If an alien turned up on your door and was like, hello, what's your name? Like, and then once you finally calm down, you're like, oh, I'm Sam. And you went, hello, Sam. I am here to consume media.
Right.
Show me some media. What's the first thing you show them?
Beethoven.
Okay.
Beethoven's music.
Not the film. No. Actually, no. Show them the film.
No, some cats and dogs first.
Dark Cloud.
If they don't understand
I
cinema.
imagine an alien quoting Dark Cloud.
They can't understand cinema or like CGI graphics.
Yeah.
So they kind of know what dogs and cats are. Then they watch this like, hang on, guys, the data's all wrong. They can talk to each other. Yeah. Something that's like really basic, but also elegant and beautiful, right? So it'd have to be music.
Yeah.
And probably Beethoven's your best bet. Or
Okay.
something like classical music. What do you think? Something that's mathematical, mathematical music.
Yes.
Obviously all music is.
Something,
you know what I mean?
something that can sort of be understood without context.
Yes, because like not jazz. Like jazz comes later. You start with classical.
Yeah, you don't open with jazz. No. But like with film, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe film. But I was like, oh no, what if he wants to show him a TV show? Actually, just broaden it to media. But I don't feel like there's many films, like if you've never seen a film before, you'd probably have to explain something to them. And like video games as well, the fact that there's like a, like, oh, you have to hold this controller and do a thing, and then a thing happens. I mean, even amongst humans, there's a learning curve there.
Well, I think, okay.
But music is so raw and like immediately recognizable. I don't think you have to explain music. You would have to explain music to an alien. They would just sort of understand what the point of it is and like what's happening.
You'd hope, I suppose. Like, who knows how different that... In terms of film, if I could explain to them what film was, it's this art thing that kind of... It communicates abstract ideas in expressionistic whatever.
Yeah.
I would show them Georges Méliès's, the rocket going into the eye of the moon.
Yeah.
Start with the birth of cinema. Like, just take them through...
I used to know the...
Trip to the Moon, is that what it's called?
No. I'm thinking of the train pulling into the station, and I used to know the actual title of it.
Oh, right.
Because it's a French title.
Yeah. Like this is the first ever thing.
Yeah, this terrified people.
It terrified people, and then you show them that and go, right, okay, so that's literally just light being captured on film.
Yeah.
Now this is poetry. This is like what...
Yeah.
Expressionistic sort of stuff.
Now here's Jack and Jill.
Now here's Jack and Jill, yeah.
You've seen the birth of cinema, now here's the death of cinema.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2.
Show them an Edgar Wright film. Yeah, show them a good time.
Okay. Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed that conversation.
Okay.
Shall we do a final film review?
Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
Nobody. It's a film. It's an action movie from the director of Hardcore Henry.
Oh, is it now?
It is.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the writer...
I was wondering what happened to him.
And the writer of the John Wick films.
You don't say.
Yeah. Bob Odenkirk plays Hutch something.
Hutch, nobody... I wanted to say Trundle. It's not Trundle.
It's not Hutch Trundle. Hutch. He plays Hutch.
Yeah.
An ordinary man, nobody, whose house is invaded and he doesn't do anything, and his son tackles one of the intruders and he kind of doesn't seize the opportunity, he just lets them go, and then is kind of ostracized for it, kind of emasculated. His family and friends look down on him, so he thinks, fuck, I'm going to do something. So he tracks them down, realizes they're very vulnerable, they have a sick baby, and thinks, like, oh, I can't fucking murder them. And then he has a chance encounter on a bus with a bunch of Russian criminals who come on board to terrorize the passengers. And he...
is John Wick.
And then things follow on from that.
Yeah. Should we get that out of the way just now?
That it's John Wick.
Because it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's John Wick.
It's better than John Wick, though.
Yes.
Yeah. It is better than John Wick.
Yes.
Yeah.
The action... in the middle of the film, it's like on par with the first John Wick.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay, but the first and last fight scene are much better.
Yes.
They're really good fight sequences.
And it's a very stylish film.
Yeah.
The action has variety, which I like.
Yes.
It's not John Wick 2.
No.
The bus scene is obviously amazing.
Yeah.
Exciting, entertaining, all those adjectives. It has more to it than John Wick, I think, mostly because Odenkirk can act.
There is that, isn't there?
The film has got that going for it.
Yeah, it was a weird proposition, wasn't it, when we first heard about it?
Yeah.
You know Better Call Saul? Well, that guy's going to do an action movie now.
I found out as well, it's not like they approached him to be, which you'd think, because he's a big name at the moment.
Yeah.
He wanted to just do an action film.
Right.
So he set the whole thing up. Like,
why not?
Agent, find me an action movie.
Yeah.
He trained for years, and it does pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the John Wick comparisons are unavoidable. I mean, it opens at the end of the film with the character like beaten and bruised, and he's got this secret life that when people actually know who he is, they're terrified of him.
Yeah,
you've got like in John Wick 1, one of the guys finds out that like the young Russian stole John Wick's car. Also, the Russian mafia. He picks a fight with the Russian mafia. But he finds out he stole John Wick's car, so he punches him. So, like, the head Russian mafia guy is like, why did you punch my son? And he goes, because he stole John Wick's car. And then he just turns to the camera and goes, oh. Yeah. Like, he's immediately like, oh, fuck. And then cut to this film where he's gone to the tattoo shop, and the old veteran sees Bob Odenkirk's tattoos, immediately knows, like, oh, shit, this guy's for real. And he's like, thank you for your service. And he runs out and, like, locks all the doors.
Yeah. There's slightly less of that in Nobody. Because the thing about John Wick that I never liked is the film really trying hard to sell him as this badass. And he can fight and all that. But like to the point where it was annoying me, like, I get it, okay? He's someone that should be feared. And trying to make him iconic. John Wick, the name.
Yeah.
This isn't that.
Yeah, like, this character doesn't even have a name.
No,
it's literally nobody.
It's a traditional action hero thing. Like, you find out, oh, it's him. Oh, don't piss him off.
Yeah.
That's a trope.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as, it's not as indulgent as John Wick.
No, one of the things I liked about it, and part of the reason why I love the first and last scene so much, is because they are, to a lesser degree than John Wick, admittedly, they are trying to portray him as this like incredible badass action hero, but they're not afraid to show him getting hurt.
No.
He gets like
the
really
scene. Shit kicked out of him.
Kicked out of him. He is bleeding, he is stabbed, he is bruised. But he still comes off as this like very competent, very cool action star.
Yeah.
And I like that. Because you see too much of that nowadays in like action films. It's like, oh, this guy's unstoppable. And like they barely land a punch on him. No, like this guy gets shot and hurt and all sorts.
It's because no one can do a sincere action movie anymore. Fast and the Furious, they all kind of just lean into that. Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so yes, they kind of everything's hyperbolized, but this isn't. And actually, this, along with a film called Those Who Wish Me Dead, which came out a month or so ago. Action movie from the guy who did Hell or High Water, the writer, Taylor Sheridan. Angelina Jolie film. Very middle of the road action movie. But it was one of the first films that came back in cinemas. And it's just nice to have unapologetic action B movies back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Those Who Wish Me Dead's a lot more, like I say, pedestrian. But neither film is trying to be important.
That's the thing. I feel like this review will probably will mostly be us praising the film, right? Yeah. But yes, it's important to recognize what it is.
It's an action movie.
The reason that we're praising it is because it does what it wants to do.
It is what it is. Yeah,
it is what it is.
It's fun,
and within those parameters, it is very good.
Yeah, and that's not. It's schlocky, but it's also like everything now. It's trying to be worthy. And like, even if it's a genre film, it's saying something.
Yeah.
No, this isn't. This is saying that Hutch is a badass.
Yeah.
You know, and not in that kind of postmodern ironic way. It's just an action film.
Yeah.
It's a well-made action film, and I miss well-made action films. It doesn't rise beyond a certain level for me because it's not The Raid. It's not, I don't know, Mad Max or whatever.
Yeah, it's not an innovator in the field of action.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's nice just to have a normal action movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The one, I've got two little criticisms.
Oh, okay. Just after I said, oh, we're going to be praising it.
Well,
you're trying to make me out a fool, are you?
the biggest, a liar.
Make me out to be a fool.
The biggest criticism, obviously, is that it doesn't rise beyond a certain level. But little things. The use of incongruous music is a trope I can now live without.
Yeah, how would you describe the soundtrack to this film?
It's like Frank Sinatra-y, croony kind of songs.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit bored. That's easy now. You see that in everything. Like a really violent action scene where it's like, I did it my...
like the Kingsman trailer did that. I think they literally used My Way.
Yeah, Kick-Ass did it. Like
Kick-Ass did it. And like Suicide Squad does like a different strand of that, which is now being adopted by Cruella and all these other films.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Ironic uses of music,
like 80s music and just like fun pop songs over this like,
gruesome
violence.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. I can live without that, and I thought the villain was quite colourless.
I kind of like that though. That he's just a bit like he's just a bad guy.
He's just a bad guy. But I'm not going to remember him.
No, absolutely not. I will say though, because again, a little bit like John Wick, and this is not exclusive to this type of film. They do try and infuse humor into the choreography and in the scenes a little bit. Like when he's like, smashing that guy's face in on the bus, and then it's like, stop. Like the bell is ringing.
Using the environment.
Yeah, using the environment to tell little jokes like that. And obviously when he's like, oh, thank you for your service, and he's like, there's an insane amount of locks. You can hear him locking on the door. It infuses humor. And most of the humor is like, yeah, all right, I recognize that as humor. But when he throws the chair at the guy in the hospital bed, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That really got me. To the point where I was like rewinding it and like watching it again. Because it looks real.
Yeah.
They probably just threw a chair at the guy. Like, maybe they like modified it so it wasn't as heavy. Yeah. But I'm convinced they threw a chair at that guy. It's too real. His reaction, the way it hits him is too real.
Yeah. I like Christopher Lloyd in it. Just like...
I love him as well.
The casualness.
The glee on his face when he's holding a shotgun is infectious.
Yeah, and he's just holding that guy as he bleeds out.
Yeah.
The orderly thinks it's his TV.
Yeah.
Just like smothering this guy. Brilliant.
But yeah, just that cheeky grin he gives when he blows the guy's hand off with a shotgun.
Oh yeah, like he's to be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. He looks old.
Well, he is.
I know he's old.
Yeah.
And he looked old in The Big Bang Theory. It's not like news to me that Christopher Lloyd is old.
He looked old in Back to the Future.
He looked old, but that's the thing. That was like in the 80s. And like, look at him now. It's like, bloody hell, he looks like an old man.
But he's the kind of, you know, Doc Brown is so iconic, and he was in Taxi, and he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's the kind of actor who would definitely be dead by now. Yeah. And I'm glad that he's not.
Not only that, but he's in an action film where he's like shooting people. Like he doesn't have taxing choreography in the same way that Bob Odenkirk does.
He has a shotgun.
He has a shotgun and he's walking around and he's shooting people and he doesn't have to dodge the bullets.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he is... You're depicting this character who's like, you know, oh, I've missed this so much. And he's like having fun. It's great.
I have a little recommendation for you and the audience. Okay. There was a film that came out, I think in 2016 or 17 called I Am Not a Serial Killer. Starring Christopher Lloyd, and it's really good. Okay. I recommend it.
Anything else?
It's about a kid who thinks his neighbour is a serial killer, and the way it's directed, it's all like that rear window from his perspective stuff. Right. And as the film goes on, you find what's good. Really good. Yeah. Really, really good. Okay. Yeah, that was a tangent.
Yeah, that was a tangent. But yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't really feel like I have anything else to say. Okay. The editing's quite eager, isn't it?
Define what you mean by that.
Well, in the beginning, certainly, there's a lot of it.
Oh, drawing attention to it. Yes, the whole Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, just those title cards, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. I feel like you didn't need those. Like, the sequence still works if you didn't have those. Yeah. Especially since the only other time that happens in the film is when they introduce the main villain. Yeah. Because it shows his nightclub. And I was like, because I was, you know, it's literally John Wick, so I thought, oh, that's setting up a fight sequence, which doesn't happen, and I'm okay with that. There's no fight club, there's no nightclub fight sequence. But yeah, like in the beginning, I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm an editor, obviously. I appreciate good editing, and I like seeing editing. But I was like, yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah, it's top heavy though, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's trying to draw you.
And I think I was worried that when the action came along. Yeah, it was going to interrupt that action. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's all like when they've got him in the back of the car and he uses the fire extinguisher to get them to crash, and it cuts to like an empty frame, and then you see all the debris fall into frame. Yes, and they just hang on it. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay,
it has restraint.
Yeah, I know. Like you're using the editing in the beginning. That montage is to show the mundane life that he's leading.
It's to depict mundanity, but in a actiony,
in a kinetic way, so you're never bored. Yeah, and that's fine. But like my fears that the film would be over edited were soon put to rest.
Hyper-caffeinated.
Yes,
it wasn't. Yeah.
No, it certainly wasn't that. Yeah. And I will say, like the main villain's death, that's a cool death.
It is a cool death.
Yeah,
it is a cool death.
That's nice as well. Like cool.
I would have liked more. Bodily fragmentation, but
like even though there is like blood and gore in this, like in the first fight sequence where he like the guy can't breathe, so he like cuts his throat open and puts the straw in.
Tracheotomy.
Tracheotomy. Like there is gore and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not as gory as I thought it would be.
No, it's not as full on. It is it's a normal action movie in a way.
Yeah. It's not like PG in its like. The way that it shows people being injured. Yeah. But it's not...
it's not an 8. It's an easy 15.
Oh, what's the name of it?
NC-17?
No. I'm trying to think of a specific film. It's from the... I don't think it's from the... No, it's not from the people who did the raid. But a lot of people who were in the raid were in it.
Maranto?
No, it's a fight film.
Oh, I know. Not a good film.
No, it's not a good film.
No, I know another one too.
But it's an incredibly gory film. Yeah. Almost off-putting in its gore.
It's a Netflix film, isn't it?
The Night Comes For Us.
That's it.
Yes. That's a very, very gory film. Okay. People getting like... Yeah.
I didn't see that because I think I started it. I was like, oh, it's Raid light in a way. It's just like it's trying to be the Raid.
Well, I told you because I did watch it. Expect like wanting more raids.
Yeah, that's right.
And there is Raid style action in it. Yeah, but they commit possibly the biggest sin you could commit in a film like that. They cut away from the action. Right. To have just like dialogue scenes and stuff you don't do, but it's an immensely gory film. So I know what you mean. Like it's not like they could have pushed the gore a little bit further. But yeah, that's kind of another thing that I miss in action films. Cool deaths. Unique deaths. Because it is a unique death.
Yeah, I don't know why you would write an action movie if you weren't planning on giving your villains cool deaths.
Exactly. That's like any schlocky 80s film. Like, this is crap. But there are some cool deaths in here.
When we were kind of putting together the synopsis for our action movie, it was like, right, okay, so how do we make this death a cool one? Yeah. That was like one of the salient questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you want people to remember it, to be iconic. You know?
Yeah, like you won't remember the main villain, but you'll remember his death.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the salient... Are you done with all your notes?
Pretty much, yeah.
The salient point is 3 words, isn't it?
Okay.
Cinema is back.
Oh, is it now?
Yes. I think that's the crucial thing to take from this film, because this is only in cinemas in the UK.
Oh, right, okay.
And increasingly, films are just in cinemas.
Okay.
So between this, another round, Surge, kind of, Those Who Wish Me Dead, but in a very different way, cinemas are back.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
We probably should have seen this in the cinema, shouldn't we? Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
That's going to freak people out. They're going to have no idea what just happened.
I just crumpled up my notes.
Okay. We need those notes to know what the coming to do the coming up.
Just uncrumple.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.